We go. The Black Sea. The Black Sea is about to devour the world. Humanity's last ark, the city of Romirro, is perched on a solitary island. There shall be a lunar eclipse, and at the end of the third night, Romirro will be annihilated as it sinks below the ocean's waves. The tome of the sea god, which has foretold all worldly changes, announced the day in which humanity will be submerged during the first night. Am I quiet? Give me a second.
The sea god has abandoned us! He has abandoned everyone!
Yeah!
It's the waves that are loud, Bloomin'.
The sea god is the one who will make the ocean devour Romirro! He wants to destroy us!
He abandoned us!
Oh, we're gonna die!
Yeah, that's right!
At the edge of the harbor, which had suffered years of erosion because of the sea winds, desperate people pushed the sea god statues they carved with their own hands into the abyssal waters. Temples have been abandoned, their altars smashed. Precious collections of books and scrolls are naught but ashes. Over the centuries, the people's faith in the sea god and everything that's associated with him were swallowed by rising tides. It was only a matter of time before they were abandoned and forgotten. The bride of the sea god suffered this fate as well. That's me. I'm the bride.
The second night is already here. It won't be long until Romirro is submerged. It will be just as the prophecy says. The citizenry is mired in unrest. Should this continue, chaos will inevitably unfold. My lord, we must find a way to soothe them.
Huh. It's only an eclipse. There's nothing to worry about. In fact, gather all the citizens and tell them.
He sounds like he's from California.
The tome of the sea god has revealed a new prophecy. We must hold the Wavier ritual and have the bride of the sea god make an announcement. Did you hear that? Bride of the sea god.
He sounds like he was forced to read these lines. The guards grab my arms and throw me to the ground. I stare at the intricate patterns that dot on the hem of the Castellan robes. The situation is ironic and it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. In the past, he was Romirro's minister whose loyalty to the city was unmatched. Yet he's now a cruel individual after the prophecy appeared in the Tome of the Sea God. Didn't you say the Tome of the Sea God spreads lies and leads people astray? Not only is it untrustworthy, but you sealed it away in a temple.
These matters are of no concern to you.
He sounds a little zesty.
Romirro shall be reborn under the current Castellan.
He sounds a little gay, to be honest.
You will make that stone tablet reveal something, and then recite those words. Tablet reveal Castellan. You will make that stone tablet reveal something.
He has a lisp too.
And then
is that what makes him
recite
sound
those
gay?
words.
Everything is at stake here, but you're still obsessed with your power as a Castellan. How pathetic. Bitch.
Foolish lass. Do you think you still be alive if someone else could converse with the Tome of the Sea God? Play your part. You know very well what will become of you if you don't.
After hearing the heavy lock climb the door, I'm once again left alone in the tower. Suddenly, a gentle breeze sweeps in, and the blood on my face is wiped away. Oh?
You're the bride of the sea god. Why are you letting humans mistreat you?
When did he appear? That title is nothing more than a pair of shackles. Why can't you be the groom of Calvin instead? I don't remember when it started. At first I thought the voice was a hallucination born from my lengthy imprisonment, but time passed and seagulls brought me seashells with strange patterns. That's when I became certain of his existence. He claimed to be the sea god, but his voice was too youthful, too mysterious. I couldn't trust him. However, I found myself involuntarily anticipating his appearances. If anything, it'd make any time here a little more bearable. And like a person who was fascinated while watching a goldfish in a bowl, he approached me. He tested me, tempted my heart to yearn for freedom as it sat in a pit of despair.
Don't you want to escape? Tonight is your only chance.
Rafayel needs to just skewer his asshole on his trident. You're a little creative.
When the eclipse hangs high and the tides flow back, you only need to remember 2 things.
What are you talking about? The sea breeze flips through the tattered pages on the table. It stops, and there I see a page covered in mysterious, intricate
The
symbols.
sea god's Summoneo staff, the sea's ritualis hymn. When the time comes, I will answer your call.
The last traces of his voice are buried by the horn. I look outside to see an anxious crowd gathering under the dilapidated tower. Is that how you say it? What do you mean? What do you want me to do? Are you still there? Silence falls over the tower. I squeeze my eyes shut and force myself to stay calm. His proposal is too sudden. It could be a trap as well. I'd be foolish not to question it. Even if it is a trap, doesn't matter. Is there anything more hopeless than being imprisoned here forever? I might as well take this gamble. Am I like Rapunzel? Am I like Rapunzel or something?
Rejoice, everyone!
Atop the tower, Hawkern raises the orb that symbolizes Romirro. His gaze sweeps over the port's towering embankments and the ships with their black sails.
Do not fear this lunar eclipse. It heralds a new hope, a new future for Romirro. We will not crumble under the waves. We've cast aside the sea god and left behind our hollow faith. Now, our centuries of sacrifice have changed the ancient prophecy.
You sure?
You will see the truth with your own eyes.
The sea of the people are like ants, they're restless. A guard shoves me and I stumble to the edge of the tower. Burp. I keep burping on stream. Should I get like a burp counter? Sorry, I actually can't with Hawkern's voice. I can't either. I think their voice actor dipped on them or something. And then they were like, you know what, dude? Who wants to volunteer? And they just chose someone. They chose someone from their staff room. In that instant, the gaze below me, filled with disgust, fear and anxiety, and cold indifference, pierced me like arrows. My lord, the power within the tome of the sea god has faded. I need to use the sea god's Summoneo staff to make the prophecy words manifest again.
The Wavier ritual doesn't require a sacred staff. Do not lie to me.
Tonight is the lunar eclipse. Without the Summoneo staff to protect us, should any signs resembling calamities appear. I deliberately lower my voice. At that moment, lightning tears through the clouds, the sea churns, and massive waves crash onto the shore. A moment passes, the sea god's Summoneo staff, its old age apparent, is given to me. According to him, I need to. I brush away the dust from the staff and raise it toward the tome of the sea god. Our silent universe awakens in the faint light where dusk and dawn meet and merge. The young and pure sea god descends upon the first wave surge. The ancient lyrics flow from my mouth as the staff slowly traces a totem-like pattern in the air. Suddenly, mysterious singing drifts through the biting sea wind. With my voice, it echoes from afar. Man, how long is Twilight? Because this myth is an entire movie. He's here. 2 movies, probably. Good, he didn't lie to me. A slight feeling of relief washes over me as I face the wind and sing even louder. Wait, is that Rafayel? He who commands the cycles of the sun, the moon, and the tides. He who guides souls to rest in distant realms.
She's singing the sea's ritualis hymn, that forbidden song. Guard! Caesar!
The guards lunge at me, but the staff emits a dazzling blue light that repels everyone. The sea god wields fire in the darkness. He is the blazing sun who ignites the lost night. Thunder crashes down upon the sea and enormous waves manifest. Heavy rainfall descends as the storm engulfs all of Romirro. Terror and chaos erupt around me. I clutch the staffs tightly and continue to sing until a beam of light appears. It points to something under the towering waves. I brace myself before I leap into the ocean. Cough, cough. He said he would greet me, but this is a little too violent for my liking. Black sea water twists into a massive vortex and carries me away. Disoriented, I stop swimming and let my body sink deeper into the ocean's depths. I lose track of time before a magnificent yet ruined structure gradually appears.
You're here at last.
A voice as cold as frigid seawater drifts toward me. Ghostly light sweeps across the crumbling ruins, like moonlight is reflected in my eyes. Before me is a slowly swaying fishtail. It's so magnificent that everything I have ever considered beautiful in my life suddenly feels plain. A human body with the tail of a fish and the power to control the ocean. Are you the sea god?
My identity is of little importance.
Several heavy chains are wrapped around his body. Powerful runes, barely visible, keep him immobilized.
I've saved your life. Now then, release the seals that bind me.
Why would the sea god be imprisoned in a place like this? Ooh. Ooh, it's pink.
I could be lying.
I think Caleb's nipples are bigger though. To be honest. I think Caleb's nipples are like round and like Raphael's is kind of oval and they're like almond shaped.
I can help you. But I can also let you drown in these abyssal waters to keep me company.
If I die, then no one else will save you.
I see you're unaware of what you've awakened.
What the fuck?
I see you're unaware of what.
Why was that so sexy? Hold up, I'm gonna find lavenders, okay?
I've saved your life.
Oh yeah, this is higher quality.
I could be lying.
Wait. Oh yeah, it's here.
I could be lying. I can help you. But I can also let you drown in these abyssal waters to keep me company.
If I die, no one else here will save you. This is
I
my
see you're
female
unaware
voice.
of what
I
you've...
can't get over that, bro.
I see you're unaware of
Look at that.
what you've awakened.
I see you're unaware of what you will unawaken. The legends say the sea god bears a special mark. Where is it if you truly are the sea god? Observe him? What do you mean observe him? Oh. Oh, so you stare at their nipples? I am visually gifted. It's not my
Your
fault.
power alone is no match for these. Its scale is as cold as the lonely moon. At dawn, it shall pierce your heart. The sea's ritualis hymn you sang, that is the answer.
Aren't you afraid I'll take your scale and disappear?
You shall find no hiding place wherever the sea flows.
Ooh. One of these, huh? power feels familiar.
This is the mark you've been searching for. But it was also a seal in
He does it again.
another form.
Bro, I can't.
Also a seal in another form.
Why is it so sexy?
The voice of the storm. Come to me.
I think Raphael is hot as a mermaid.
Again.
We like fish or something.
Call out to me from the fathomless depths of the sea. Bestow the inextinguishable flame of vengeance.
Oh.
The sea god's revival has been completed. You've rewritten the fate of these waters. Starting from this moment, you are bound to me. You cannot turn back.
He looks good as a mermaid. Not that I look at fish that way. I don't know, you're kind of suspicious. The storm's roar filters through the seawater and resonates as whales' distant songs. My body feels impossibly heavy. Yet scenes from my dreams gradually come into focus.
The tome of the sea god cannot be wrong. She
Tome?
is the sea god's bride and our only hope. We need her if Romirro is to survive. She will be Romirro's future castellan, protect the land in the sea god's stead, and change the prophecy.
She sounds Spanish.
There's still over half a year until your coming of age ceremony. Yet the gifts are already piling up. We've run out of space to store them. Everyone truly admires you from the bottom of their hearts, my lady.
She's the sea god's bride and was raised by the Castellan. Her knowledge and abilities are exceptional. She is kind and approachable. A wonderful person deserves all the best things in life.
Look at what our foolish devotion to the sea god brought. Death, disaster, and the prophecy that Romirro shall be submerged more quickly. The sea god will never save Romirro.
The bride of the sea god is nothing but a farce! She and the sea god will destroy Romirro!
They lied to us!
Or are all the men gay?
This is a lie! Run, my lady! Don't let them catch you!
Can you hear them? Everyone is asking for you to die. And yet, you're the only one who can communicate with the tome of the sea god. I won't let you suffer a miserable death. I'll spare you so long as you obey me. How does that sound?
Holy shit.
Spare you so long as you obey me. How does that sound?
You know what? Whatever you want, Harkin. I open my eyes. Brilliant white lightning dispels my chaotic nightmare and illuminates the scene before me. Rainwater flows through the window frames and makes the carvings and murals gradually reveal their lifelike faces of gods.
Are you awake?
The sea god looks at me, his beautiful tail having transformed into human legs at an unknown point in time. He can walk on land? See, he does have small nipples compared to Caleb.
I have prepared a gift for you.
He lifts me up and directs my gaze to the steps below. Hawkern, his most trusted minister, the tower's guard captain. Those who had bullied and abused me are now on the ground. Bound, they crawl and struggle, their eyes filled with fear and despair.
Their lives are in your hands. Would you like to deal with them one by one?
His hand covers the back of mine. He guides me to raise my hand, and lightning gathers in my palm. Debris scatters and the Castellan's crown clatters to the ground. The puddles on the floor bloom crimson.
Or would you rather finish them all at once?
My palm is quickly held again. Out of nowhere, raging waves rise in the center of the temple and engulf everyone. Watching them struggle as they suffocate, I feel a sense of satisfaction. However, an indescribable emotion wells up. The sea god already has a terrible reputation. Won't this make the people hate you more?
Lower your hand then.
I pause before I hold his hand even tighter. I hear him chuckle as the illusory waves shimmer with rippling lights. They reflect a cold emptiness in his eyes.
The faith of humans is nothing more than self-interest. They worship when they need something, and curse when they don't get what they want.
True!
Why should I care about reputations?
As if he had his fill of watching your death throes. What? Death throes? He releases my hand, the water vanishes.
They claimed I've abandoned this world. Very well. I'll let them be a witness to true annihilation. This is only the beginning. Don't you dare become merciful too swiftly.
You're overthinking it. I would never. The dying Castellan struggles to prop himself up. His gaze burns with a fury that could shoot flames.
You, if it weren't for me, you would have been executed. How dare you repay my kindness with betrayal?
So the lamb panned for slaughter is obligated to thank the butcher? You're insane. Burp. I pick up a sword from the ground and hurl it at him. The blade stabs his shoulder blade.
Ah! Don't forget, your life is still in my hands. If I die, you will be cursed to perish in agony.
Okay. Then we'll die together. Does it look like I'm scared? A swift death is better than living as a caged bird forever. I agree.
A curse.
The sea god lifts my chin and strokes my cheek. Tentacle-like bluish-green runes slowly appear.
You're referring to these crude patterns?
He curls his fingertips. His movements are gentle, yet the runes are being torn away from my cheeks. It hurts.
Stay still. Indeed, it's an ancient curse, but it's far too weak to control my bride. Close your eyes.
Closing. I hear an eerie sound as something is destroyed with the pain.
What a terrible attempt of a trick. When I open my eyes again, whiffs of murky mist still linger in the air. Nearby, the Castellan is suspended in midair. A water tendril tightens around his throat. These magics can't be wielded by humans. Tell me where you found it.
What right do you have to judge me?
I won't tell you anything. You don't need to worry about asking again either.
Aren't you a god? Why are you destroying everything? Lemuria, Whalefall City. Now you want to destroy this island!
Lemuria? Didn't the legend say the sea god lived there? In the sky, golden lightning freezes. Dark colored waves surge. When the waters recede, the Castellan and the others have vanished without a trace. Where have you taken them?
They're in a more appropriate place.
Why didn't you just kill Hawkern? A bloodstained crown flies into his hand and immediately crumbles to
You
dust.
were imprisoned in his cage. How many years?
It's been a long time, I don't remember.
If the hatred from that time could be offset by him dying instantly, I would happily grant your wish at this very moment.
You wouldn't offer me a gift without a reason. What is it that you want? Tell me.
You are my bride, aren't you?
Me? He touches the pearls in my hair before he lowers his gaze.
Removing unsavory elements from my bride's life is
this how it feels to be a woman?
my duty.
You just have handsome men doing stuff for you 24/7? As I debate whether I should confront him or try to extract information more subtly, a thunderous crash resounds outside the window. The storm has destroyed a distant embankment. Seawater rushes in like a roaring beast as it flows directly into the city. What is happening? This is the second night. Romirro shouldn't be sinking now. The Tome of the Sea God has been returned to the temple. I run there, and I'm shocked what the words of the prophecy are emitting a faint glow.
This future was predetermined long ago. Whether it's the second or third night makes little difference. You knew this day would come. Why are you surprised?
This place is my sanctuary. I've only just completed my escape, and I've yet to taste a day of freedom. I don't want to die like this. If I perish along Romirro, you'll be the sea god with the shortest marriage in history.
You are my bride. Of course I want you to live a long life. But it hasn't been long since I was awakened. My powers haven't fully returned yet. I have the will, but not the strength.
Me too.
Why don't you tell me your other wishes? I'll try my best to fulfill them for you.
What if you regained your powers?
Give me your hand.
Giving. Oh. A cold glint flashes as he cuts both our palms. He intertwines his fingers with mine and our blood mixes. It drips onto the Tome of the Sea God. Golden light rises from the Tome of the Sea God like threads of silk. They unfurl in midair and weave together to form poetic words. Lemurians who seeketh absolute power combat the treacherous tides. Dive into the deep for pearls, find the true love. There were hidden prophecies in the tome. It makes sense now. Despite the fact I've conversed with the Tome of the Sea God many times, I could only decipher fragments and incomplete phrases. Yet what's more shocking is the meaning contained in these words. I struggle to grasp the most crucial line. To find a true love, that means. The sea god appears more composed as he raises his hand to brush away the text and heal the wound on my hand.
You already know the answer, my beloved bride.
You knew you needed me to restore your power, that's why you gave me those gifts.
You're more clever than the humans I'm familiar with.
Now that I understand his intentions, I feel oddly relieved. According to the tome, you'll regain your power and stop the sea from swallowing Romirro if we fall in love. Wait, what? You'll regain your power and stop the sea from swallowing Romirro if we fall in love? So that means Romirro will be saved if he loves me?
As things stand, this is your only option.
But you're telling me there's a chance for a happy ending that probably won't happen because it's a love and deep space myth. But falling in love doesn't happen instantly. All the while, the threat of this land sinking below the waves looms over us. Kiss him. Kiss him. Kiss him. Kiss him. Kiss him. Mustering up some courage, I wrap my hands around his neck and kiss him without any hesitation. A god's lips are warm. Before he can recover from his surprise, I quickly pull away. No homo. Well, has your power been restored? Even just partly. See, I have a reason to kiss him. It's not because I'm gay. It's because, falling in love just fixes our socio-economic problems. Like Romirro falling apart. He grabs my arm, pulls me close, and bends down to return my kiss. The intensity is so overwhelming that I wince and draw in a sharp breath. I need to prove that we're in love to the government.
A simple kiss is far from what anyone would call love.
It's still better than sitting and waiting for death.
As long as I'm here, death wouldn't dare to visit you. Do you remember how you awakened me?
The summon of staff and the seas were trellis him. He places a staff in my hands. I'm not sure when or how he got
This
it.
can temporarily awaken some of my powers, but we need one more thing to stop the storm.
Our love. He turns over my hand as he traces letters on my palm. I can't help but open my mouth. No homo. Rafayel.
Remember it. That is my name. Recite my name in your heart with the utmost devotion. Then, Sing the hymn for me once more.
He suddenly dives into the storm, and his legs transform into a brilliant fishtail as he soars above the terrifying waves. The Summono staff emits a light to accompany my song. I sing with all my strength and stare at his figure. He glides along the top of the waves. Lightning from the tip of his Tidebreaker trident strikes the heavy storm clouds. Streams of golden light swirl across the sea surface. The rain stops and winds cease as the subdued tides transform into millions of transparent fish. They stir up sand and gravel as they slowly retreat to the deep sea. At the base of the damaged statue, people kneel in the muddy waters, yet they see the sun rising behind the sea god. He turns around, his gaze passes through the lingering mist and lands on me. Hawker and his henchmen are imprisoned in a water cage that's under a waterfall. They receive my thorough care. I know that Rafayel didn't spare Hawker just to let me have my revenge. For him, Hawker might have some value. I tried to ask him about it, and Rafayel wouldn't give me an answer. As a heir to the previous Castellan, I became the new ruler of Romirro. Unexpectedly, some rumors began to spread throughout the city. Oh, I'm a queen. The sea god's bride awakened him. Now he carries out her orders without question. If she can command the sea god to calm the storm during the eclipse, then surely she can command him to drown Romirro. She put 12 venomous sea snakes in the water prison. They drink the former Castellan's blood every day, and the water below Mawson Waterfall is now a bright red. I pay no attention to her gossip. After all, I have no interest in ruling a city that once abandoned me. What matters is that I must fall in love with Rafayel.
Your Highness, the harbor repairs?
Deal with it yourself.
Your Highness,
bitch.
The city plans to erect several new statues of the sea god.
You don't need to ask for my permission. After shutting out those annoying voices, I search the temple for any signs of Rafayel. The place has become the sea god's residence. To fall in love with him sooner, I spend most of my time here. The problem is, he's always somewhere else. How am I supposed to fall in love with him? What is this? A memoria?
You forgot about the scale already?
The scale I held in my hand had transformed into a blue seashell, and now hangs from a delicate silvery white chain. Is this a token of affection?
At the very least, it's not a token of hatred.
The necklace is put around my neck, and the seashell is like a crystalline mark over my heart.
Keep it safe. It's a piece of my heart.
Ooh.
It will let me know where you are and what you're doing.
And vice versa, nah. He can track my every move, but I have no idea what he's up to. It's not exactly fair. In the center of the temple, several springs converge into a deep, mysterious pool. The waters churn, and the currents with white sea foam are connected to the deep sea. Around the pool stand 12 broken statues, their damaged torsos holding candle holders of solidified whale oil. Their heads are solemnly lowered toward me. He took the time to build a pool. I've learned something, however. He likes to soak in the water. Oh. Bored, I pick up a... Oh, is that why he's always in a bathtub in a modern car, Lamau? Bored, I pick up a few silver leaves from a nearby box and skip them. They bounce across the water. I don't know if the citizenry is trying to curry favor with Rafayel and me, but people have sent numerous gifts while keeping their distance. Is he not here? There's no response under the water. I'm about to give up when I catch a glimpse of unusual light flashing below the surface. Curiosity compels me to dive into the water to get a closer look, but someone suddenly grabs my wrist. Oh.
It's impolite to enter my bedchamber without greeting me first.
What do you mean? Rafayel floats to the surface, his long hair spreading out along the water surface. I can barely see his tail. It's like a streak of cold yet beautiful, multicolored sunlight you'd see during a sunrise or sunset. I supervised the renovation of this temple when I was 15. If anything, this place should be mine.
You are correct. I shouldn't have stopped you.
He tries to drag me into the water, and the churning currents instantly transform into a ferocious beast. It approaches me with its open maw. I use his momentum to grab his arm and quickly wrap my arms around his neck before the water can engulf me. It's cold.
Yes, and you could have avoided this.
I was afraid you'd vanish again when I wasn't looking. How are we supposed to learn more about each other and fall in love if you're not here?
Is clinging to me like an octopus part of your plan to fall in love with me?
Cuddling can be used to gain affection, but there's also another reason. A cold water droplet slides across the tip of my nose. I sneeze multiple times.
Why are you so delicate?
The water in your bedchamber is too cold. Why is it freezing?
Is there a problem? Only humans have a habit of parboiling themselves.
It's called taking a hot bath, actually. The current carries us to shore. Rafayel's tail transforms into a pair of legs as he steps onto stone tiles inlaid with seashells.
You say you don't want to die, and yet you jump into frigid waters. Your desire to survive is rather wanting.
You say you need to fall in love with me, and yet you're nowhere to be found. Do you actually want to get your powers back?
I never believed an intangible emotion such as love could serve a purpose.
He sets me down as a ball of flame rises from his palm. I flinch and pull away, but he places it in my hand. Fire? It's not burning me, and it's
Are
warm.
you no longer afraid?
He creates several more spears of fire and uses them to dry my hair and clothes until they're comfortably warm.
I'm only
So he has the power of an air dryer in his hand. That's cool.
following the tome's revelations because I don't have an alternative. I won't fall in love with you. It doesn't matter how close you get.
You fucking tsundere, shut up. Don't worry, I'm just trying to survive and don't misunderstand and think I actually have feelings for you, bitch. I'd play with the ball of fire in my hands and toss it around. No homo. The dancing flame casts a softness across Rafayel's face that doesn't suit him. He sits beside me on the stone steps and carefully examines the ornate boxes. These are gifts from the citizenry. They want to thank you for saving them from the storm that night.
These aren't gifts. They're displays of submission for the sake of self-preservation. They despise you, and then they coddle you like a babe in swaddling clothes. Faith, devotion, all of it is hypocrisy.
You don't seem to be furious, though.
And you've entertained yourself by skipping those silver leaves. Why should I be angry?
They belong to you. Keep what you like and throw away the gifts you dislike.
I'm not interested in insincere offerings.
Well, I have something that should interest you. I walked to the tome and retrieved the summoner staff that was hiding behind it. Used to be yours, yes. Now it's yours again.
You are its rightful owner.
Huh? He gestures for me to look at the ruby on the staff. There's a strange, distinctive mark
It's
on
your
it.
name written in the Lemurian language. It belonged to me, but it seems I gave it to you. So it's yours now.
I don't remember that.
What a coincidence. I don't remember it happening either. Perchance it was before my long slumber, or it happened in a more distant past. In any case, it's of no significance.
The staff feels heavy. I place it next to the tome of the sea god. Why would you give me a precious staff?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I liked you.
Huh? Maybe my expression was too incredulous because he starts to laugh.
You don't want us to be smitten with each other? If anything, you don't seem all too pleased with the fact that I liked you before.
I just can't imagine you gently falling in love with a human. But if we truly had feelings for each other in the past, then falling in love again might not be so difficult. What should I fall in love with, though? If I only admire his appearance, then we'd have an
Your
unstable
thoughts
foundation.
are impolite, I presume.
I was thinking about the god I'm supposed to fall in love with. I'm wondering what his character is. For example, I like to learn about his likes, dislikes, his strength, his flaws.
If you knew those despicable aspects and flaws, would you still fall in love?
They say that if someone can accept even your most awful aspects, then it's true love. It touches the
In
soul.
other words, an ignorant, foolish impulse.
For the sake of survival, I'm willing to sacrifice some rationality.
It's not difficult for you to discover what kind of god I am.
He moves closer and lifts the seashell hanging around my neck.
When the next full moon arrives, you will find the answer you seek.
What do you mean? Rafayel sinks into the pool, which causes water to be splashed everywhere. He waves at me unhurriedly before vanishing in the blink of an eye. Was he teleporting or something? Full moon night. Night fog blankets the wilderness. Grayish white blades of grass rise past my ankles. Short trees are scattered about, and their gnarled branches stretch in my direction. The necklace's seashell emits a soft glow. It guides me out of the city and into a dense forest at the foot of Mount Oniuna. What's that sound? I quicken my pace. Exceptionally bright moonlight filters through the trees and illuminates ruins covered in green moss. Rafayel stands in the center of the area. Water flows from his hands to lift broken stones. They're pieced together mid-air. I continue to tiptoe and then... Ha!
I heard you breathing earlier. Who do you think you're trying to scare, mortal?
You brought me here in the middle of the night just so I could watch you build a house? I recognize these as the oldest ruins on the island, but no one knows their origins.
Correct. Come closer. You're in the way.
Still uncertain, I move to the side. More stone bricks float upward, assemble themselves in a wall covered with fragmented inscriptions.
His blood surged to form the oceans. His scales transformed into the stars above. His bones became the whales who bore the sun disk, the moon clams that measure time, the coral bridges that lead to the netherworld.
That's the creation myth for how the sea god founded Lemuria. Are these ruins connected to the sea god?
This place is part of the Island of Songs.
What do you mean, Neverworld?
Netherworld. Moon clams.
His bones became the whales who bore the sun disk. The moon clams to measure... Huh? The coral bridges that lead to the Neverworld. Does this mean the myths are connected?
That measure time. The coral bridges that lead to the Netherworld.
That's the creation myth for how the sea god founded Lemuria. Are these ruins connected to the sea god?
This place is part of the Island of Songs.
I furrow my brow. How strange. The name sounds familiar, but I can't remember anything about it. As I'm deep in thought, these more stones rise with the flowing water. They connect the broken walls and ruins to gradually form a shrine. The full moon hangs above like a bright pearl set in the center of an accessory. It illuminates fragments of the temple's former glory.
Preserved Lemuria's history, as well as the important chronicles of every sea god. The sea god you want to learn about is here.
These are stories about the sea god, but they're not the story of Rafayel.
There's no difference. One day, I will become another sea god who's depicted here. The name Rafayel shall be forgotten.
He tilts his head back as if he's using somewhat yet real yet illusory fragments to search for pieces of his memories. That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Yet you want me to get my powers back, so I can ascend and become a true sea god.
You're not wrong, tiny nipple man. The flowing water gradually disperses and the shrine crumbles apart once more. It has returned to being ruins. What about you? After you regain your powers, what do you want to do?
I'll start with finding the person who sealed me away at the bottom of the sea.
Do you remember who it was?
I will eventually.
True. Empathetic, I nod. I know what it feels like to lose your freedom. You were sealed away for so long, you must really hate that person.
They aren't even worthy of my rancor.
Rancor?
However, I won't let them go unpunished.
He glances at the moon before walking into the dense forest. I hurriedly catch up to him. There's one thing I still don't understand. You forgot who sealed you away. How do you know that I...
You are the sea god's bride. You're the only one I would choose. And you were the only person I could sense when I was sealed away.
As he says this, a cryptic smile suddenly appears on his face.
It was ironic. I first heard your voice as you slandered me.
Huh?
You said the tome was worthless since it couldn't find the sea god. However, it somehow revealed the location of his bride, so you were captured and forced to suffer. You said I abandoned my bride, played with whatever caught my fancy, and questioned how I could be the sea god. You claimed I was worse than a sea cucumber.
Hee hee.
Also,
you're making up nonsense. I have never insulted you. I argue while frantically trying to think. However, I have insulted him a few times.
I eventually realized that when you talked to yourself or slandered me, it meant you were in good spirits. And if there were days when you were very quiet, I could also guess what you were going through.
You really like watching people in secret, huh? Thank you.
That's an incorrect assumption. I only see you.
Ooh, smooth guy. What a smooth boy. This guy knows ball. We had wandered to shore without realizing it. Moonlight cast a shimmering glow across the sea surface. Blurry, distant stars. Oops. Blurry, distant stars sparkle where the ocean meets the sky. Wow.
What is it?
It's to stop you from jumping into the water and vanishing again.
Holding my hand won't be enough.
You know, after watching the stupid AI Silas Zane Yowie, I can see where they stole the story for that from, Lamau. If you keep disappearing, it'll be hard for me to fall in love with you. You should at least tell me what you're doing and where you're going.
Would you like to accompany me this time?
He raises his hand and the moonlight condenses into strands of silver thread at his fingertips, then it descends onto the sea surface. Every stream immediately becomes visible in the water's reflection. They follow the moonlight, coil around his cupped hand, and dance.
The perfect opportunity is right in front of you.
He releases the strand of moonlight and makes a gesture with his hands that resembles a flying bird. He whistles and the sound lingers, and an enormous white skeleton rises from the sea. Is it a dead whale? It reminds me of a fish with large fins. The creature swiftly cuts through the sea mist and appears before me.
Are you scared?
Yeah. Don't underestimate me, kiddo. But as soon as I step forward, I find myself at a loss. I'm unsure of how to approach this skeletal creature. I feel a sense of weightlessness as Rafayel places me directly on the creature's back. His legs transform into a tail.
Hold on.
And he swims into the ocean.
Hold on tight. Should you fall, I won't save you again.
So this is a dead whale motorcycle, but like the sea version. Rafayel swims through the inky black water. Silvery light breaks into curls that flow along his tail. Close behind is the skeletal creature that's carrying him. Is this your friend, Rafayel?
Despite being nothing but bones, it tried to eat me when we first met. Is that what friends do?
I'd say it's more of a hungry friend. Ah! As if it understood what I said, it suddenly whips its tail in an attempt to throw me off. I quickly grab onto what was once its dorsal fin.
The Fantasia shark is very temperamental. I advise you not to provoke it. If you throw caution to the wind, it'll reduce you to a pile of bones with just a few bites. Its species died along with Lemuria. I have no idea where this one came from.
Could it actually be your friend from before you went to sleep, I mean? The Fantasia shark raises his hand and makes an almost inaudible sound, then it quietly swims closer
Maybe.
to Rafayel.
I caught glimpses of its shadow in Whale Fall City.
According to the legends, it was the most magnificent and beautiful place in all of Lemuria. Sorrow and suffering don't
Humans
exist
and
there.
their myths have never shied away from exaggeration. I don't remember what Whale Fall City looked like. Only when the sea god's power is restored can all slumbering Lemurians be awakened. And then, Whale Fall City shall return to this world.
That's good. You have a homeland worth longing for.
You're implying that yours isn't.
It abandoned me first. Not wanting to continue this conversation, I pretend to admire his nipples. After a moment, an idea appears in my mind. Rafayel, come here. I want to give you a gift. But just so you're aware, I haven't done this in a long time. It might not work.
I should keep my expectations low then?
Despite saying that, he raises his hand and uses the rising waves to sit down beside me. I take a deep breath, concentrate on the palm of my hand, and then gently place it on the Nichols' head. In the darkness, a faint power slowly awakens. It cautiously moves toward me bit by bit. I relax my breathing and try to become part of the power. I capture every subtle change. I can sense it. A gentle radiance spreads out from the layers of the blue tint, the seawater, and faintly reveal the silhouette of the city. While indistinct, its beautiful, magnificent form is still visible. I thought this Fantasia shark missed Wellfall City, so I tried to resonate with it. Did that bring back any memories? Rafayel doesn't say a word until the water turns black once more. I'm forced to break the strange silence. I didn't expect it to work. I haven't resonated in a long time, and I only use it to help others find lost crabs and turtles.
Thank you.
What?
You helped me see Whalefall City. I'm expressing my gratitude.
You're welcome. The moon has disappeared as sea fog descends with the heavy clouds. They engulf our surroundings. As the fog grows thicker, my doubts continue to take root in the depths of my heart. You still haven't told me where we're going, Rafayel.
We'll arrive at our destination once the fog clears.
But just as I'm about to press for more details, I suddenly feel my mind is being enshrouded by fog. My consciousness begins to become very heavy. Something's wrong with this fog.
The fog is as it should be.
Oh, lingering like
all you need to do
less.
is close your eyes and get some rest while you can.
These goddamn
Did you get enough rest?
water and some sounds. How long was I asleep? Wait, where am I? The surrounding seawater surges violently. It rushes with the force of 1,000 avalanches toward a massive oceanic abyss. Seems as if the entire ocean is about to collapse. The thunderous roar is so deafening that it makes my ears hurt, and a sense of foreboding washes over me. Rafayel, please don't tell me we're going there.
I thought you were eager to help me get my powers back. This is what the Tome of the Sea God means by combat the treacherous tides.
Now I understand what he meant when he said opportunity. Is it too late for me to change my mind?
What do you think?
I sigh, I resign myself to my fate as I hold him tightly, close my eyes, and allow him to take me to the bottom oceanic abyss. Bottomless, by the way. What do you call a gay top without a man? You call him bottomless. So sorry. As my dizziness subsides, I can still hear the massive waves crashing above us. Everything around me is so enshrouded in darkness, my survival instincts make me grip Rafayel's shoulders tightly. Is it over?
It's only the beginning.
He holds me close as we continue swimming toward greater depths. After what feels like an eternity, our feet finally touch a flat seabed. Dark blue flames ignite one after another in the distance. They move in our direction and reveal an ancient, magnificent plaza. In the center stands a stone gate with multiple heavy chains. Each one extends to a tall stone statue that anchors it in place. The Lemurians have a lot of ruins.
This is the sea god's tomb. Each stone statue below represents a sea god who has perished.
Like the Avatar. I hope you didn't bring me here just so we could be buried together.
Don't worry. That day is still tens of thousands of years away.
Very cute. He shoots lightning from his fingertip and hits one of the guardian statues.
Stop pretending. I know you can hear me.
Come out.
Young sea god, I have already told you. The bond's mark that is etched into your soul is never complete. You cannot enter the sea god's tomb, let alone reforge the Tidebreaker Trident.
I've already brought the owner of that mark.
Even when I'm pushed forward, I'm still trying to figure out what this bond mark is.
If we're together, wouldn't that make it complete?
Huh.
You are correct.
The statue slowly turns toward me.
To awaken the sea god, you must traverse the 33 levels of the sea god's tomb to reach its depths, and to offer the Tidebreaker Trident on the altar.
Okay. Does that mean...
Once the trial is complete, you can reclaim the sea god's power.
I just go down then? Combining Rafayel's words with the statues, I realize what's happening. There are statues representing past sea gods in each level of the tomb. Does that mean we need to defeat all of them? Then you'll be able to complete the trial and regain your powers.
Are you scared?
A little. Even if they're just statues, they are still sea gods. I'm afraid I won't make it past the first level.
No one said you'd be going in alone. There's nothing to be afraid of, since I'm here. Leave everything to me. You just have to do one thing.
Look pretty?
Don't die.
Oh. The Tidebreaker Trident materializes in Raphael's hand as he walks to the stone gate. Take a deep breath and summon a silver
Let's
sword.
begin.
Nice. The stone statues slowly pull away from the heavy chains. Layer upon layer of seals are released one after another, and the seabed begins to shake
The key to
violently.
passing this trial isn't to defeat the statues.
He suddenly pulls me close, lowers his voice, and enigmatic mirth flickers in the depths of
It's
space.
related to reaching the altar.
As soon as a gap appears in the stone gate, Raphael swings his trident and creates a maelstrom. It sweeps us up and propels us through the entrance. Lightning flashes and sparks fly as he shoots into the first level like an arrow released from a bow. Meanwhile, a sea god statue is slowly emerging from an enormous stone niche.
Young sea god.
Why did he say it like that? Lightning strikes and catches the statue off guard. It's knocked back into the stone niche. Raphael doesn't linger. He rides the current into the second level and unleashes another lightning bolt without any hesitation. Chaos surrounds us as an unprecedented scorching heat radiates from Raphael's body, yet his gaze remains exceptionally sharp and composed. The stone statues are either knocked back before they can fully emerge, or slow in their hopeless pursuit of us. Duck. I swing my sword to cut down several coral arrows, flying toward us only to feel the arm around me tighten. Like a blazing flame, Raphael turns the entire sea god's tomb upside down. He reaches the altar in just a few breaths.
Done.
With lightning speed, he unleashes the Tidebreaker Trident, and a radiant brilliance akin to daylight fills the sea god's tomb.
What is the meaning of this? Why is the latest incarnation of the sea god so disrespectful?
Well done. A young god should have a young god's vitality.
This won't do. We need to add a new rule. Shortcuts are not allowed. Otherwise, my ancient stones will crumble to pieces.
How is it over already? I finally got a chance to stretch my muscles, but I haven't even made my grand entrance yet.
The surrounding clamor fades. Hazy threads of light gradually wrap themselves around me, Mai, and Raphael's hands.
Ye who desires to ascend to true godhood, the deep sea shall inscribe your name. I shall cleanse thy body, temper thy weapons, and restore thy lost memories.
Accompanied by mysterious chanting, a warm power surrounds me, something reminiscent of flowing sand surges from my eyes as a familiar voice responds.
In Lemuria, a bond best represents an everlasting vow and oath. When you offer the sincerest form of worship from the depths of your soul, my soul will be branded with your mark. I will be unable to defy you. And once a bond is formed, it shall never disappear. No matter where you are, or what form you take, I will always be able to find you and recognize you.
It's Raphael's voice. Unconsciously, I reach out my hand and touch a face that is familiar yet somehow not. His eyes still shine with the beauty of dawn's glow, however, his smile is more carefree and unrestrained and as bright as the clearest sea water. But in the next moment, the warmth in his eyes gradually fades and his body sinks back into the black sea water. Only the mark below his collarbone faintly glows. The Lemurian covenant I promised you.
What did you promise?
I offer you my heart, my sincerest form of worship. I'm willing to have your very being etched and engraved into my soul. In a trance-like state, I hear myself say unfamiliar vows, yet every word seems to come from the depths of my heart.
I gave you my heart.
He takes my hand and places it against the glowing mark. Everything is clear to me. Before you fell into a deep slumber, we had formed a Lemurian covenant. That's why I'm the bride of the sea god. Those threads of light gradually melt away. The seawater is cold again and the atmosphere is somewhat awkward.
A Lemurian covenant can only be forged when both parties are willing.
And yay.
So, you voluntarily became my bride. It had nothing to do with the Tome of the Sea God. Don't forget to apologize to it after we get back.
I don't know why I said that. I realize he's teasing me about the time I called the tome worthless. My ears burn with embarrassment as I clear my throat. You must have recognized our bond a long time ago, you just didn't tell me.
It only represents the past, and now it means nothing to us.
The tempered Tidebreaker trident returns to his hand. Rafayel turns around, his tail emanating a more vivid and sharper radiance. Within his body, a portion of the sea god's power has been awakened. You are embarrassed. You want to deny the fact we were once in love. You're embarrassed, bitch.
I am not.
I think you are. He ignores my provocation and grabs my arm to swim upward, but then he stops.
You're hurt.
I follow his gaze to look at my back, but I don't see anything and feel any pain. It's just a minor wound.
It's not.
Why?
You need to return to Romirro immediately.
Rafayel brings me back to the surface, and the Fantasia shark carries us to Romirro.
Loosen your clothes. I need to treat your wound immediately.
Is it that bad? It doesn't hurt. Rafayel holds my shoulder with one hand and places his other hand on the back of my neck. Warm power emanates from his hands. It hurts. A pain from deep within my bones erupts and heads straight for my heart. It's so intense that I almost fall into the sea. Turning my head, I finally see the wound, but it's not a bloody gash. It resembles some strange.
It's not working.
Okay. Stop. You're making the pain worse. Yet long after Rafayel stops, the pain doesn't subside. I break into a cold sweat and drops reach my eyes. They trigger another kind of sharp pain.
Hang in there. Once the fog clears, you'll feel better.
Rafayel, I need a favor. I groggily lift my eyelids as I rest on his lap. There are rumors they say the sea god's song can enchant people's hearts and make them lose themselves in illusions. Could be possible.
Don't believe baseless rumors anymore.
Can't you try? I'll use our bond. Please. Please. Melody is played on the flute. It flows across the rippling, glittering sea and gently falls into my ears. It's unfamiliar yet captivating as it guides me. I descend into a magnificent dream. I try to memorize every note as it flows. I don't acknowledge the pain anymore. Guided by the rhythmic sound of the waves and this melody, I slowly close my eyes once again. After returning to Romirro, Rafayel immediately confines me to the temple. He requests that I don't go outside until my wound has fully healed. Although I don't understand why he's being excessively cautious, he stays in Romirro. It's a pleasant surprise. However, the wound on my back often makes me disoriented. Sometimes I can hear faint crackling sounds deep within my spine. It's as if there are fish nibbling on my coral. Maybe a more apt description would be how it felt familiar to seawater washing over new scales. At other times, I'm fully conscious yet somehow unable to open my eyes. However, there's one thing I remember clearly. Whenever I curl up into a ball because of the searing pain, the sound of a flute drifts into my ears and numbs my suffering. And soon after, I drift back into a soft, peaceful sleep. While we were away from Miro, something rather significant happened. Hawkern, the former Castellan, had escaped from the water prison. Of course. Uh-oh.
We've already dispatched a group to search the entire city. As soon as they find something, I'll make a report.
Ouch. Peya, the lady in waiting, immediately falls silent outside the curtain. I hold back a gasp and turn a glance at Rafayel. He's applying medicine to my body. Since he heard about Hawkern's escape, he has remained unfazed. There's not even a trace of anger or displeasure on his face. I'll deal with this myself. Call back to people you've sent out. There's no need to search anymore.
Yes, Your Highness.
When I wave my hand, Peya quickly retreats as if she'd just been pardoned from execution. You let him
Beasts
escape.
of the deep only bare their real fangs when facing death. Humans are no exception. Making him believe he still has a glimmer of hope will force him to reveal his plans.
Aren't you afraid he might have a secret weapon?
You should be prioritizing your health.
Burp. He applies a slight pressure with his hand. I subconsciously try to pull away from the pain, but he grabs my shoulder and presses me back onto
This
the bed.
ointment is made from gold feather algae. It's the best medicine for wounds in Lemuria. Stay still if you want to be hale and hearty again.
Hale and hearty, then be gentle.
I am being gentle. Are human bodies so fragile that they can't withstand a tiny amount of pressure?
Yet he still lightens his touch as he applies the medicine, his cool fingers gliding down
I
along
could
my spine.
call for that lady in waiting and have her take care of you instead.
No, you're doing well. I like it when you look after me. His face betrays nothing, however in the dim lighting, I notice the tiny scales rising subtly on his neck. I see he likes being praised. I quietly take note of this small discovery. Wow, good job. Thank you so much. That night, I develop a fever again. It often happens during these past few days. Rafayel says this means my wound is healing, but feeling dizzy with a parched throat is still a miserable experience. Rafayel, could you lend me your tail to cool down again?
No. We agreed that last night would be the last time.
Through the translucent curtains, I can see him lazily soaking in the pool, his tail creating ripples across the water surface. It's not like I'll do anything. I only want to lean against it for a bit.
Whose fever became so severe the last time that she thought she was eating fish.
Guilty, I close my mouth. The heat inside my body is still making me miserable. Pretend to be weak. I'll use our bond if you don't obey me.
Go ahead.
I'll call upon the power of our covenant. Lend me your tail, Rafayel. The sound of water lazily ripples as Rafayel unhurriedly brushes aside his long hair. Do I need to recite an incantation, Rafayel? Rafayel, heed my words. I try every phrase I can think of, and none of them work, and I'm left with an even drier mouth. As I fret, he unceremoniously taps the top of my head. Rafayel had sat down beside me without me noticing.
Lemuria's most sacred bond can't possibly work when you mock it. Calm down. Focus on resting.
But in the end, he gives in. His tail is cool to the touch as I rest my head on it, and I meet his lowered gaze. How much longer do I have to wait for my wound to heal?
You'll make a full recovery soon.
The mirror beside me reflects a flash of red, and I see the floral pattern. It's slowly fading, but has left behind jagged, frightening marks. The voices I heard have become different. At first, sounds I usually ignore suddenly become louder, bubbles popping, fingers brushing against surfaces, heartbeats rising and falling. Then the sound of churning seawater becomes increasingly clear in my ears. Even though the temple is far away from the beach, I can still hear the movements of the tide. Why are you so concerned about this injury?
It will make you more like a Lemurian. Your senses become heightened, so you'll be able to hear the call of the most distant oceans and see extraordinarily vibrant colors.
Is that what I want? He absent-mindedly runs his fingers through my hair.
But you are a human. You'll become an outcast on land. Then you'll be unable to hear any sounds unless they're in the ocean.
Good night, Brianna.
You won't see any colors unless they belong to the sea. Your legs will become too weak to walk on land, and you'll suffer. Seawater will flood your mouth and nose and rise in your throat. In the end, you'll drown on dry land. It doesn't look like you're afraid.
Because you'll keep me alive, you will, yes? He laughs softly, feels my forehead, and then picks up a cup of water. He helps me drink it.
If you try to make excuses again tomorrow, there's no guarantee.
I felt something when she said that. I mean, when I said that. I mean, she said that. It's not me, it's not she. As I slowly recover, Romirro's short supper arrives. The scent of flowers which had been absent prematurely, blah blah blah. At night, I climb to the roof of the temple and look at the port. The people are setting up tall platforms for bonfires. Perhaps they're preparing for the sea's gratis festival once again, centuries later to express their reverence for the sea god. It was once Romirro's grandest festival. People would thank the sea god and pray for his blessing and protection. I already know that Rafayel has no interest in frivolous festival.
You're still injured.
I know, so I didn't leave the temple. I pat the spot beside me and invite him to sit down, and then I return to my attention to the conch shell in my hand.
It sounds terrible.
Bitch! He twirls a flute in his hand and unceremoniously taps the top of my head with it.
That's not how you play it.
Show me, big boy.
If the conch shell could express emotion, it would have already died of embarrassment.
Talking shit. To teach me how to play it properly, I like that song.
Why?
It might be because whenever I hear you play it, all my pain disappears. Just as no one dares to approach the temple without a good reason, no one dares to go near the tower that once imprisoned me. I thought escaping from the tower would make me feel better, but I guess not.
Your cage isn't in that tower. You can't leave the temple or the tower. You're afraid of losing the freedom to go where you please. Once your wound heals, nothing will be able to restrain you.
The conch shell is taken from my hand as Rafayel brings it to his lips. He's testing it out.
Listen carefully if you want to learn.
I'm sorry. I lean against Rafayel's shoulder and let the vibrations from his chest seep into my bones. As he plays, something in the depths of my heart trembles. Tremble?
This island, this entire region, shouldn't be unconquerable obstacles in your search for freedom. No matter how many identities Romirro's people bestow upon you, you aren't obligated to fulfill them. You need to be willing to accept those roles.
One of those identities is the bride of the sea god. What if I don't want to be her?
Then don't be.
But I feel a bit reluctant to just let it go. I let out a long sigh and gaze at the lights that extend from around the temple to distant places. I used to love Romirro. I wanted to protect it forever and save it from the prophecy.
Unfortunately, it abandoned you.
I'm just a tool to the citizens. They believe I will save their lives.
Do you want all these people to disappear?
If I said I wanted that, would you carry out my wish?
If it would make you fall in love with me.
Ooh. I tried to imagine their depths, but I doubt that would make me happy.
What would make you happy then?
When I don't respond, he hands me a long scroll.
Those ladies in waiting delivered it.
I look down and notice several ladies in waiting at the steps of the temple. They meet my gaze and bow nervously. I suppose they want me to preside over the rituals for the first day of the sea's gratis festival.
I see. They're representing Romirro in an attempt to win your favor. When the time comes, you'll have to confront many of the people who abandoned you.
With apparent playfulness in his eyes, he brushes aside a strand of my hair that the wind had blown across my face.
How will you respond?
What would you do?
If it were me...
His fingertip moves down and rests over my trembling heart.
I'd ask this heart about what could make it happy.
You sneak boy. With the toss of a torch adorned with flowering vines and seashells, into the bonfire and the rise of dancing flames, the Sea's Gratis Festival officially begins. I descend from the elevated platform by the shore, give the ceremonial staff to Barry for safekeeping, and then remove the heavy crown from my head.
Thank you, Your Highness.
No need. In the end, I agreed to preside over the ritual for the Sea's Gratis Festival. The reason is simple. Because the sea god was forgotten and hated for centuries, I'm the only one who still knows how to perform the ceremony. Of course, this ritual respected the sea god's opinion, so many of the complicated, extravagant elements were eliminated.
Why did you think the sea god would enjoy a dance that looks like crabs are fighting? It's better to save your energy and make more fried shrimp cakes instead. These are actually delicious.
It's an ancient dance that was passed down for generations. It's supposed to display the sea god's majesty. Actually, you have a point, it does look like crabs fighting. As I walk into the resting area surrounded by curtains, Rafayel examines the pile of crates filled with offerings. It's as if they formed a small mountain. Because he said the fried shrimp cakes from the city's eastern district were delicious, people rushed to replace their offerings with fried shrimp cakes. Why don't you make more special requests? You could ask for their assistance when you dive into the deep for pearls. I suspect the pearls at the tomb of the sea god mentioned refer to something
Aren't
else.
fried shrimp cakes special? Food in the sea is too soft. Nothing has a unique texture such as this.
He breaks off a small piece. I wonder why all the food in the sea is soft. He breaks off a small piece and puts it in my mouth. Then he tosses upward a bubble filled with water to wash his hands.
As for the pearls, it can't be completed in a day or two. You also don't have to scour the entire sea for oysters. What you need to do now is...
His fingertip lifts my necklace. His eyes reveal what he's saying. Apply medicine. I loosen my collar and set off to the side. When I think about how this wound is almost fully healed, I feel a tinge of sadness. During the ceremony, I realized for the first time that the sea wasn't completely black. The sound of waves drifts in leisurely from behind the curtains, beyond curtains. It embraces my ears with a gentleness I never thought was possible. I also never imagined that fragments of rainbow-colored light shimmered beneath the dark-colored waves.
Don't say that. Once your wound heals, you'll have plenty of ways to see it again.
Alright, Raphael, you're getting better at taking care of people. You don't hurt me
If I couldn't do this simple task well at this point, wouldn't the sea god's divinity be tarnished? However, should you miss that pain, I can help you experience it again.
No, that won't be necessary. Stop.
Your Highness, someone has brought a prayer flower basket.
What do you want, Very? Very, who had just lifted the curtain to enter, pauses. Her gaze shifts from Raphael's hand to his nipples. Then she speaks as if she didn't see anything.
It's for you and the sea god.
Of course, you can leave it here.
Yes, Your Highness.
Highness? After Very leaves, I pull my clothes back up and silently glare at Raphael. I bet new rumors about us will be circling around the city tomorrow.
Such as?
It's hard to say. Perhaps they'll mention the sea god's bride in broad daylight doing, oh wait, that's not right. The people shall speak of her doing this and that with the sea god in the dark hours of the night.
What exactly is this and that? I don't understand.
The prayer flower basket floats into Raphael's hands. He lifts the red, blue, and silver ribbon. Then he fiddles with the seashells inside the basket.
What does this basket of seashells represent?
It's one of the traditions of the Sea's Gratis Festival. Every household prepares flower baskets filled with seashells to exchange with others. The more beautiful the seashells, the more beautiful the blessings they represent. It's how one can convey well wishes to people. But why would anyone want to exchange seashells with me? I tuck that thought away and pretend to be interested as I take the flower basket. Having changed into lighter clothes, Raphael and I walk along the central streets of the city toward the temple. The moonlight and stars cast a blue glow across the night sky. They're like seawater flowing along the horizon as they rise and fall with the clouds and mist. Try these crispy fish. They're delicious too and crunchy.
They're slightly bland.
Is that so? Maybe the salty seawater has
I told you multiple times already. I'm not always drinking seawater because I'm in the ocean.
I drop a few coins, ignore the stall owner's somewhat bewildered gaze, and shove a bag of crispy fish into Raphael's hands. Eat it! A decent number of people recognize us, but we tactfully ignore their gawking. When did they put up that statue over there?
I saw craftsmen hammering away at it not too long ago.
At the end of the path stands an exquisitely detailed, majestic statue of the sea god. He wields a trident as he stands above the white caps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your abdomen is well defined. They're putting a lot of effort into flattering you, perchance a little too much.
What do you mean? It's a faithful depiction.
Oh, really? It's far more accurate compared to the previous sea god statues. The older ones were extremely imposing and masculine. Their beards were longer than their hair. When I heard your voice for the first time, I couldn't believe you were the sea god. You sounded too young. You calling him a twink?
You're not wrong. You saw it yourself in the sea god's tomb.
She just called him a twink, politely.
Those sea gods had flowing beards longer than their hair.
I take a moment to recall the statues I saw there. You're still the most handsome one.
You have my thanks.
He raises his hand slightly, and the seashells placed near the base of the statue shimmer with a crystalline light. It's akin to a silent response from a god. Seeing my questioning look, he smiles.
I still believe humanity's faith is fragile. The slightest touch can shatter it. However, the meaning of festivals is equally important, whether they are here or where Whalefall City used to stand. Just for today, I can let them be happy for a bit. It's not difficult.
I hold his fingertips. Raphael, before you fall asleep, you must have been a likable sea god. Even though you've lost your memories, you still long for Whalefall City. You want to awaken all the Lemurians and bring them back to their homeland.
Making unfounded judgments like this is usually a dangerous sign.
Who says it's unfounded? On a small scale, you dislike human worship, yet you still respond to their wishes. On a larger scale, you saved everyone during the lunar eclipse, despite the fact that they hated and insulted you. And most importantly, I loved you once. It was enough to forge a covenant with you. At least that proves you're worthy of affection, you're worthy of being loved. Ahem, now it's your turn.
What?
I gave you plenty of compliments. Isn't it your turn to compliment me now? How about me? Me.
Your eyes are bright. Your hair is soft. And you remind me of a proud little crab when you smile. When you're angry, you're like a prickly sea urchin.
What the fuck? How does this guy come up with these things? Does the last part count as a compliment?
Of course. If you lived at the bottom of the sea for thousands or tens of thousands of years, you would know how precious it is to see even a sliver of vibrant color.
I open my mouth, but I'm unable to find the right words. The basket in my hand sways slightly. I lower my head and see a little girl slipping a pink seashell into my basket while taking another one. After we make eye contact, she immediately scurries back to her mother, who's a stall owner selling crispy fish. The stall owner struggles with how she should respond, then she gives me a forced smile.
See? The people here like you too.
That's not it, it's... whether it's belated guilt, cautious appeasement, or even more complex emotions that are impossible to articulate, I cannot say. I haven't done anything to deserve their affection.
It's because you're you.
Okay. His hand covers mine and it moves past the tricolor ribbon on the basket so his fingers can intertwine with mine.
All endearing words suit you perfectly.
What a guy. By the time we return to the temple, there are a few more colorful seashells in my basket. I hang it by the windowsill, and I see Raphael is about to approach the pool. I quickly run over to stop him. Wait, there's still something we need to do. I take out the floral liquor, and I had very prepared and pour it into the silver chalice. We celebrated with everyone else. Now it's time for our private celebration. The Sea's Gratis Festival is also for lovers. People collect elder flowers during the spring, and use them to brew a liqueur. You're supposed to give it to your beloved on this day. And you?
Does this contain your entire spring's collection?
I bought it. I was still locked up in a tower in spring.
It's all right. I don't mind.
Raphael picks up his glass and gently clinks it with mine. The floral liquor is sweet and pure. After drinking it in one go, I refill both glasses.
Now that it's just the two of us, is there anything you want to say to the sea god? To me?
I can't stop staring at your nipples.
During the ceremony, your chants were filled with other people's words to the sea god. They were not your own.
True.
Don't you want to tell me something? Maybe I can make a wish come true.
I wish you can fall in love with me soon. I hope you'll succeed in your revenge. Don't become the sea god. We have to choose number one. because it's the best option. What the fuck? She chose number 2? What? She's been choosing the first... Okay. I hope you succeed in your revenge.
Why did you bring that up?
I have a feeling you'll be more at peace once you find the person who sealed you away. It's painful to let hatred brew inside you. Even if you don't show it, that kind of suffering doesn't disappear.
Then let me add something to your wish. I hope that when the day comes, I won't regret it.
As our glasses clink and the floral liquor slowly disappears, Rafayel suddenly holds out his hand to me. Does he have to kill me?
You told me that during the Seas Gratis Festival, humans exchange seashells to give blessings to each other. I've already given you a seashell. Shouldn't you give me something in return?
I'll give you a little lick or something. Smash? Whoa, relax. I touch a seashell necklace around my neck. I rack my brain for what feels like ages. Yeah, I can't think of anything that would be of equal value. Oil? I slip a pearl ring off my finger. I've worn this since I was a child. It's not the pearl that this home of the sea god told you about, but I'll give you a blessing that only belongs to this ring. May all your wishes come true. When that time comes, remember to take me to Whale Fall City.
I heard that rings are often gifts that symbolize romantic devotion in the world of humans. Does this mean you've fallen in love with me?
I contemplate his words for a moment before I lean forward and kiss the corner of his lips. No homo. What do you think?
I think I need some more convincing proof.
CGI? Wait. Wait, what the fuck? Where is it? You can hear a little pluck. It's like a plunger. That night, the sound of the waves draws closer. Gentle melodious music mixes with the laughter as Fantasia sharks swim overhead. Vibrant colors burst before my eyes. Someone reaches out to hold my hand. My veil is lifted, and I'm led toward the light. Then the music and laughter transform into weeping and screams. All colors fade into a dull gray, and the hand that's tightly holding mine gradually turns cold. Seawater engulfs everything. The cold overwhelms the world, and even the last melody played on a flute sinks into a deathly silence. But that hand still doesn't let go of me. It's Hawkern. When the sun rises, come to the beach. I'll take you somewhere. On the last day of the Seas Gratis Festival, I wake up and find a note Rafayel left beside my pillow. Rosy daylight spreads across the horizon and paints the sky in distinctly warm colors, yet the wind carries an unusual chill. There's a smell, it's a repulsive fishy stench. I swiftly draw my silver sword and block an attack that was aimed at my heart, yet something akin to sharp claws pierces my shoulder. It's like a coiled tentacle that's covered in thistle-like barbs. They dig deeper into my skin while I struggle.
It's been a long time, bride of the sea god.
There he is. So that's where you went, Hawkern. Still maintaining his sanctimonious facade, he emerges from the darkness. Behind him, several grotesque, elongated shadows extend outward.
You were waiting for me.
Your trap is too obvious, bitch. The toxin from the barb seeps into my blood. My body becomes numb, but I doubt I'll die from it.
Too bad. The sea god deceived you with a few empty words. You're still under his spell. Do you actually believe he'll save you?
Whoa.
He'll only lead you to your death for his own selfish desire.
Why are my clothes falling off during Raphael's myth? The fuck?
desires.
His eyes gleam with malicious intent. As my consciousness begins to fade, traces of light are gradually devoured by darkness.
Don't resist. Now then, follow me. Everything I've done is for Romirro. I want to prevent it from following the same doomed path as Lemuria.
The pain in my shoulder wakes me. As I open my eyes, I find myself in a cage I know all too well. My hands and feet have been shackled. Sensing a putrid, fishy smell, I see a massive, grotesque shadow on the wall. It's accompanied by the sounds of something vicious being torn and peeled apart. I suddenly recall the spell he cast on me, the one he used to control me.
Indeed, it's an ancient curse, but it's far too weak to control my bride. These magics can't be wielded by humans. Tell me where you found it.
You're no longer human.
So what? To save Lemuria, this pain is nothing.
The shadow on the wall suddenly contracts. A moment passes and it slowly returns to humanoid form. With so many sea monsters parasiting your body, aren't you afraid they'll eventually devour you? You'll be turned into a real monster.
The human body is too fragile. It's incapable of helping me in my quest to revive Lemuria. I need a body powerful enough to let me live for thousands of years. But that sea god, he destroyed the body I had painstakingly crafted when he put me in that water prison. He forced me to devour more, and I turn into what you see now.
Noticing the countless festering cracks and deformed joints on his hands, I feel nothing but shock and pity. Pathetic. Recalling his talk on Lemuria and the implications of his recent words, a theory forms in my mind. Are you a Lemurian? But you were born and raised in Romirro. Lemuria was destroyed tens of thousands of years.
Lemuria was never destroyed!
He yanks the chains and I'm forced to look into his eyes that are filled with ominous darkness.
It's sleeping. It's waiting for me. Once I kill that foolish, selfish sea god, I will become Lemuria's new sovereign. I shall resurrect Lemuria, the only civilization that's glorious enough to rule this world!
He seems to have lost his mind with his obsessive delusions and hatred for Rafayel. However, his words aren't complete nonsense. What do you mean? They're all nonsense. Provoke him, provoke him, provoke him. Do you want to return to Lemuria?
It's the most beautiful place in the world, and the homeland of all Lemurians. Don't you love your homeland? Wouldn't you want to save it?
I'm not passionately enamored with Romirro. Despite my feelings, I pretend to nod and agree with him. I understand, but this doesn't have to do anything with me. Why would you kidnap me to save Lemuria, idiot?
Don't you remember?
A tentacle tosses something at my feet. It's a small, fractured stone tablet. However, I recognize it instantly. The Tome of the Sea God? It's very similar to the one at the temple. The patterns and text are almost identical. It's as if it was broken off from that larger stone tablet.
You are the only human who can communicate with the Tome of the Sea God.
So how are you gonna replace Rafayel if you can't even fucking read the tablet, retard?
Go on.
You can't even read.
Read.
And you want to be a god? The blood from my shoulder drips onto the stone tablet and the blurred text emits a faint golden glow. Find a true love when blessed with a true love's kiss. Claim her heart by her own hand. A heart pure, flawless, and filled with love. Best offering can give to Lemurians. So is he gonna try to riz me up? The prophecy from the Tome of the Sea God that I read, it was incomplete.
Do you understand now? If the Sea God wants to reclaim his power, he needs more than true love. True love is just a stepping stone to him.
Hawthorne gives me a mocking gaze that's filled to the brim with contempt.
Akin to how a starving person seeks food, ripping out your heart is the sea god's natural instinct.
I don't believe me, bitch. Even if he wants to kill me, I need him to say it.
What a foolish, stubborn lass. Don't tell me you've already fallen in love with him.
I feel like this is like a cock-blocking friend who's jealous of her friend that her friend got a boyfriend. You don't need to know that.
How unfortunate.
He laughs with malicious delight.
When he remembers everything from those years, he'll ensure your very existence tastes oblivion.
Is he referring to what happened before Rafayel fell asleep? Hawker pulls out a bottle covered in verdigris and unscrews the stopper. An eerie vapor drifts out.
Come, witness the events from the annals of Lemurian history. See how you and that sea god destroyed the Muria.
I hold my breath, but the eerie vapor seeps into my skin in an instant, invading every fiber of my being. Within moments, dormant memories awaken like magma. Breaking through frozen earth, it burns every blood vessel and nerve in me. How the fuck does he know? How does he know any of this? It hurts! Searing pain tears through my body, my mind is plunged into chaos, yet something gradually comes into focus.
Are you willing to be my follower?
Rafayel? The massive circular chamber is as dim as twilight. The ground trembles as fractured stones cascade down from the domed ceiling. This is... My body is suddenly pinned down. A sharp dagger is pressed against my chest. Is Tips drawing a blood? Rafayel, no, that's not right. The Rafayel before me is a brighter, more radiant young man, yet the dark blue flames that burn in his eyes and expression are unnaturally detached. In his hand, he tightly grips the sharp dagger, its poised, ready to pierce my heart. I can't make a sound. I grab the handle of the dagger and use all my strength to fight against death itself. The trembling tip of the dagger freezes.
Run.
But a detached hostility returns to his eyes as blue and golden light radiates from his body. Hawker is a great villain, like just killing him would not be satisfying enough. He's kind of one-dimensional to me. I think killing him was Hawker is like your Saturday night cartoon villain in a way. I think.
As my follower, you must offer your heart.
I would just cut his dick off, to be honest.
To me, a Lemurian bond holds great power. But it's also a chain. The sea god should have no weaknesses or constraints.
My struggle is futile. The blade sinks deeper into my chest. Blood falls as the pain spreads. He has an 8-pack. There's a loud crash, and the restraint on my body loosens. Rafayel leans against a wall that's far away from me. Pain has contorted his face. Inside a stone niche burns a gentle yet feeble flame. It's so weak that a breeze could extinguish it.
Stay away from me.
Those dark blue and golden lights still surround him. However, the blue flames in his eyes have been extinguished, or rather, suppressed.
You cannot stay here. Lemuria's flame requires the hearts of our followers to sustain it. This is wrong.
Just cut it off and make him eat it too. Make him cook it first and then eat it. You like be a little bit humane.
Should it continue, 'tis only a matter of time before I lose control and hurt you again. You must find a method that will allow it to burn forever. That shall be Lemuria's true path.
The flame from the niche gently floats to Raphael's fingertips, then transforms into countless delicate threads of light that flow toward my chest. Shocked, I try to break free, yet I find myself bound by these threads. A strange warm power flows into my heart.
There is a legend. It says the wick of a flame exists in the place where all oceans converge. Find it, and Lemuria will be enveloped in light and endure forevermore.
Water currents embrace me and carry me out the temple. From a distance, Raphael gives me a gentle sigh.
I shall ensure Whalefall City remains exactly as you remember it, until the day you return with the wick.
Hello, sir.
This is my promise to you. For 'tis Lemuria's vow, a bond everlasting.
Well, why is my clothes falling off when Raphael's on screen? It's not me, I swear. Despair and blood pervade the seawater as thunderous rumination buries all cries and blah blah. I desperately try to push away the darkness from my eyes, but it feels like my body is trapped in quicksand. The more I struggle, the more I suffocate.
That human deceived you. She deceived all of Lemuria.
A human stole our flame. Lemuria will perish.
Why did the sea god deceive us? Why didn't he protect Lemuria?
The sea god has changed before we even realized it.
The seawater drowns our despair, and yet I can't defend Raphael. It isn't Raphael's fault, it's because I didn't fulfill my promise to Raphael. There was no wick that existed in a place where all oceans converge or at the end of the city. Lemuria could never exist forever. Lemuria was a civilization that should have never existed. Destruction was its predetermined fate. The last god of the sea perishes along with Lemuria. They dissolve into the ocean. It's not a slumber, it's oblivion. He will disappear from this world. I will never be able to find him, see him, hear the songs he plays for me on the flute, or see his smile. My heart silently cries out and awakens the unwavering determination of my former self. I won't let Raphael die. I will save him. And the price that must be paid, it doesn't matter. In the violently trembling deep sea, the ceremonial staff I wield ignites. The cold flames illuminate the gaze that's a breath away from mine. Shock, sorrow, anger, I can't exactly make out the emotions. In his eyes, I only see the mark of our bond on his collarbone. It's like a stream of blindingly bright burning blood. Countless threads of light transform into runes. I raise the staff and let a phantom pierce his body. I hear my own heart as I speak. Every single word is a part of a merciless command. With the power of Lemuria's vow, Raphael, you shall be forever imprisoned here until Lemuria welcomes the opportunity for rebirth. Until the world reaches the moment when you can be awakened. His divine gaze, once clearer than seawater, transforms into a black tide. It freezes when he looks at me.
You betrayed me.
Once the seal is complete, he's plunged into the depths of those abyssal waters. I hear a deafening sound as if the entire ocean is being split apart. Boundless black waves surge from all directions. His dissipating figure becomes rain that falls upward. I will cut out your heart with a dagger honed, my darling. And in love's name, your heart will become my faith. Your body will be washed clean, shine like a pearl. I will care for your heart. I will care for your heart, till we meet again and you reclaim it for yourself. The last wisp of smoke dissipates and the bottle clatters to the ground. The tide of memories recedes as my consciousness returns to the cold, gloomy tower.
Do you remember now? You stole the flame and sealed away the sea god, and he...
So what, Tech Twink?
Trusted you so easily.
So what, Tech Twink?
You...
I broke the rules, Tech Twink, so what?
Are the ones responsible for Lemuria's destruction.
My mind is still reeling from the impact of those memories as I lift my head. My gaze focuses on the former Castellan. Then it shifts to the silent figure standing in the shadows behind him. Astra, Raphael. I don't know when he arrived, however, his cold gaze has told me everything. He saw my memories as well. Hawker continues his endless monologue, but I can only hear chaotic noise. I stare blankly at the figure before me. Our gazes lock and we freeze under the moonlight. My thoughts also seem to be frozen in place.
We'll deal with him first.
A faint whisper that only I can hear reaches my ears. I give a slight nod in response.
He will kill you, cut out your heart, and leave your body out to rot.
Shut up, nerd.
You will not receive a proper burial. If you want to live, your only option is to kill him before he can act.
Who loves you, Hawkern? Name one person.
Your bond with him is your sharpest.
Not even, you know what? We'll make it easier. Who likes you, Hawkern? Name one person.
Blade. You can order him to take his own life. As you can see, anything is possible.
Yes, I remember. I was the one who sealed Rafayel. I try to speak as calmly as possible. But I am also responsible for Lemuria's downfall. Why is Rafayel your only target for revenge? Don't you hate me too? Why?
Of course I do. However, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones if you kill the sea god.
Remove my shackles then. Can I do anything if I'm like this? I lift my chin slightly. You better hurry. He's already here.
Huh?
A tall, slender figure appears under the moonlight. Rafayel raises his hand and summons the Tiebreaker Trident.
How convenient. You've delivered yourself to me.
The chains that bind me snap. I rub my sword wrist before materializing a silver sword. I take 2 steps forward. In the suffocating silence, Rafayel is the first to speak.
It was you.
You let Hawken escape on purpose. He was used as bait so you can find out who sealed you away. And that person is me.
Correct. The greatest weakness of Lemurians is that bond. And a sea god cannot have weaknesses. He must kill the person who forged the covenant with him. That way, there will be no one left in the world who could restrain.
I don't want to fall in love because falling in love makes me weak. Okay, bro.
Or
okay,
threaten
bro. How old are you again? Huh? 13?
Him. And only then shall he become an invincible god. Regardless of whether it's for Lemuria or for myself, I must kill you.
He speaks these cold words, although I know it's just an act. I can't help but think. What am I doing? Perhaps these words also contain his true feelings. We don't need to say anything else to each other. I raise my silver sword as lightning flashes at the tip of the Tidebreaker Trident. Blue fiery power surges around Raphael's body.
Farewell, bride of the sea god.
What do you mean? When the tip of my sword clashes with the Tidebreaker's Trident, our weapons are diverted to the side. And kills Hawkern by accident. As the light fades, Hawkern's eyes are filled with terror, yet he cannot move. His body shatters amidst flying sparks. A putrid stench fills the air as viscous fluid seeps between the bricks and spreads across the floor.
Don't taint Lemuria's glory with your disgusting ambitions. A man who lost himself to madness has no right to save Whalefall City.
True. Hawkern's eyes bulge with fury as guttural sounds escape his throat. Then he crumbles and turns to dust. Raphael withdraws his trident and brushes away the dark embers from his body.
Your hand.
Yes, yes, my lady. Yes, sir. My lady. A small flame dances from his fingertips and travels up my forearm. The fluid and bloody marks left by the shackles disappear.
You are afraid of me. What's wrong? Did you think I would actually kill you?
I'm not afraid of you, I'm the one who sealed you away, and I'm also the key that will allow you to reclaim your power. You have every reason to kill me.
If I asked you to, would you willingly offer me your heart? I want you to answer honestly.
Say yes. This heart has always belonged to you, and I promised it to you before, so yes, I'm willing to return it to you.
Then why are you crying?
I blink and realize tears are threatening to fall from my eyes. Being willing doesn't mean I'm not afraid of death, and I owe you an apology. I understand I can't erase a fraction of your suffering. His fingertip is cold as he presses it against the spot where my beating heart is. Our noses almost touch. We're so close that one breath would close the distance between our lips.
What I want is a heart with pure and utter devotion. Its love for me should come from the very depths of one's soul. Do you think it is that?
I don't have an answer for you. Even if it was, this heart now bears an invisible fissure that can never be fully mended.
The answer is clear. Your heart is of no use to me. For now, at least. Go back.
To where?
Your injuries haven't fully healed yet. You should get some rest.
Alright. I murmur in agreement, yet neither of us makes a move to leave. The moonlight casts shadows on the window bars and resembles a wall of thorns that gradually spreads between us. The path from the tower to the temple isn't long. However, it feels as if we've been walking for an eternity. After that day, we continue as if nothing had changed, yet everything is different. We no longer watch the faint light on the horizon in the morning, nor do we light all the candles in the temple on cold nights. The images from that vision are like an inescapable thorn. It has pierced me and Rafayel. Dusk falls when that Rafayel tells me he will temporarily leave Romirro to search for the pearl in the deep. It's mentioned in the Tome of the Sea God. We part ways on the beach. He dives into the sea, his tail catching the sunset's light and all of its beautiful iridescence. The waves and ripples will never settle. Likewise, I will never see him again. On the last night of summer, an unprecedented storm falls upon Romirro without any warning. The water has risen past an average person's waist. The rain, they rapidly engulf every building, shop, and slope. I watch from the top of the temple. Beyond the rain lies a hazy black ring surrounding everything. The seawater surges and turns. I only gave out the orders to reinforce the embankments and clear the waterways. Unfortunately, when faced with this kind of storm, it's futile. Another building collapses, the rising waters carry the rubble, and people screams in all directions. Someone bobs up and down in the current, the black water carries them toward me.
Help me!
I remember her.
Someone!
I recognize her. She's one of the ladies in waiting to serve me in the temple.
Help!
Countless images flash through my mind. They overlap and intertwine. The faces of people below the tower, those looks of disgust or apathy when I was forced to perform a braver retreat. The smiles of people who sent me invitations and exchanged seashells with me during the Seas Gratis Festival.
Your Highness, Your Highness, thank...
The nearest shelter is to the north. Go. Before she thanks me, I harshly interrupt her. The lady in waiting steadies her weakened body. Her eyes, once soaked in despair, flickers briefly with hope before it dims.
The flood has washed away all the city's shelters. Aside from me, there are others who have nowhere to go.
Carrying debris, the roaring flood crashes against the temple. The building trembles, yet it still remains steadfast. When I was 15, I oversaw its renovation with the intention of making the symbol of faith as solid as the heavens. It was designed to stand tall for centuries. Tell everyone to take shelter in the Sea God's temple.
Your Highness, we did a search and brought the people we found to the temple.
People who escape the storm are put into small groups in the main hall. They anxiously watch as I stand next to the statue of the Sea God. I look outside. The rainfall wraps around Romirro like a sheet of rough gauze. It covers everything and it's definitely white, as far as the can see. Turning back, I instruct Very to distribute all the food supplies in the temple. When the storm eases, lead them to Mount Onuyuna. It's tall enough the water will not reach you there. After I give out my simple orders, I ignore the anxious gazes and hushed discussions around me as I turn to leave.
Your Highness?
Yes.
What if the rain never stops and the flood reaches Mount Onuyuna? What then? What if the third night comes?
All sounds seemingly vanish, only rainfall remains. Gazes pour in from all directions like water. Everyone stares at me as they wait for an answer about their future. That day will never come. Fuck! Why did you choose that one? I don't know. Their gazes instantly freeze.
But you're the bride of the sea god.
Someone speaks in a dazed voice and I smile faintly. The bride of the sea god is still human. I thought you understood this hundreds of years ago. Why else would you have so easily abandoned me in the past? Silence falls over the temple. I sigh. I do not shelter them just so I can bring up old grievances. I've already done everything within my power. What remains is a challenge you must overcome by working together. Don't place all your hopes on me. Suppressing that many uncertainties in my heart, I look at the misty blackness beyond the rain. My promise to Rafayel isn't valid in my tongue. If only this heart truly fell in love with him, then he'd prevent the sea from swallowing Romirro and allow me to live. Back when we decided to fall in love, neither of us anticipated what today would bring. I hope to see peace in his pleasant skies. My heart aches again as I grasp the necklace he gave me. But
what I want is a heart with pure and utter devotion. Its love for me should come from the very depths of one's soul. Do you think it is that?
I still can't give a definite answer to the question Rafayel asked me that night. However, no matter what happens, I can't let Romirro sink. I must survive until the day I see Rafayel again. Several days later, the torrential rain finally stops while everyone sleeps. The howling winds to some extent. Wading through the accumulated muddy water, the ladies in waiting carry out my orders. They evacuate everyone from the city. I press my faintly arching temples. I'm unable to dismiss the ominous premonition lingering in my heart for some reason.
Mom, look! The moon is being eaten!
I look up. The moon has vanished without a trace. Moonlight drowns in murky gloom. With the blink of an eye, black clouds swallow the last trace of light from heaven and earth.
The eclipse! The eclipse is here!
The eclipse!
No!
It's happening!
The prophecy from the top of the sea god! Romirro is about to be submerged!
After being momentarily stunned, I finally realize that there are no black clouds in the sky. A massive wave is rising from the sea. Very, take everyone back to the temple. But these feeble struggles are no match for the approaching catastrophe. The wave swiftly unfurls as deftly embraced with Romirro. A loud sound explodes across the sky. For a moment, everything is as bright as day. Golden lightning cleaves through the massive wave. The waters flow back and reveal its familiar silhouette. The seashell necklace around my neck begins to shake violently. Rafayel? The massive wave collapses, and the large water splashes touch the land. Rafayel raises his tidebreaker trident, and the scales on his tail reflect a piercing cold light. The trident is swung down with great force. Heavy storm clouds are transformed into a scorching, powerful winds that sweep across all of Romirro. Wherever the trident points, flames more brilliant than the blazing sun ignite across the water surface.
The sea god? Is that the sea god?
My clothes are falling off again. To control the currents and the tides without a doubt, this is Rafayel's power. Sea god, sea god, sea god. Sea god. Like mountains, the towering waves are stacked on top of one another. They spiral upward under the force of wind and fire to form columns of water that pierce the sea like spears. The violent ocean is suppressed by the sea god's ferocious power. Fire clashes against the seawater that had rushed into Romirro, and the sea is forced to retreat. I run toward Rafayel. By stepping on the scattered floating debris that once made up the seawall, only one thought races in my mind: faster, I need to go faster. Ahead of me, Rafayel stands amidst unquenchable flames. His long hair is disheveled by the wind. Rafayel. Water and fire illuminate Raphael's eyes as he looks at mine. The divine power surges in his gaze. It's as fierce as the turbulent currents surrounding him. Not even a trace of my image is
left. You shouldn't have come
left.
here. Return to the shore if you don't want to be reduced to cinders.
I swing my sword to create a gust. It leaves the flames, and I leap through the opening to reach Rafayel. Ignoring his trident that's positioned as a barrier before mine, I grab his rigid arm and forcefully intertwine our fingers. This is exactly where I should be.
Death will greet those who attempt to wield a sea god's power with a human body.
But I'm the one who has a bond with the sea god. I won't die that easily. As soon as we resonate, a scorching heat that feels like it could burn everything spreads from Raphael's palm to my body. Divine power surges, at the same time something else flows into my heart. In my days, I realized it's everything Raphael has ever put into words. In the dark depths of the ocean, the sea's ritualist hymn drips down ethereally from the surface. It awakens his anticipation that has been suppressed for aeons. During one of Romirro's short summers, the indifferent sea god's heart experienced pure contentment and joy for the first time. After he left the temple with the excuse of searching for pearls, the waves undulated like his fluctuating thoughts. All that time we spent together, my feelings for him were never unrequited. Raphael supports my waist as he hugs me from behind. His embrace is scorching hot.
Feel it. Now wield it as if it were your own.
Feel what, bro? Divine power collides with my nerves. My blood boils as my eyes become the same colors as Raphael's. Power representing heaven and earth advances from between our fingers. The last wave that threatens Romirro is intercepted by fierce flames. Suddenly, the waves freeze just as they're about to surge forward with a howl. A beam of sunlight breaks through the thick clouds and shines upon me and Rafayel. Immediately, the waves fall as if weightless. They shed their ferocity and gently push towards the shore. My heart beats like a drum, but it's quickly drowned out by the jubilant distant cheers of relief from those who narrowly escaped disaster.
The tide has receded. Aren't you going to let go of my hand?
No. Why would I do that? I turn my head. The burning divine power in Raphael's eyes slowly fades and return to what I'm familiar with. Tightly hold his hand. I tighten my grip on his hand. What will you do if I don't let go, bitch? A long time passes, then he smiles faintly.
Keep holding it. Neither of us will let go first.
This doesn't make us gay, by the way. Houses that were once submerged reappear. The ships once swept again are pushed back to shore by the waves. People emerge from the temple where they sought refuge. They slowly begin to rebuild their home. After finding some medicine in the temple, I return to the shore by the port. Raphael is leaning against the rocks. His eyes are closed, and the dim daylight covers his body. His complexion looks paler than it actually is. He's asleep. I dip my finger into the ointment made from gold feather algae, then I gently apply it to the wounds on his arm. Although he appears alright at first glance, I soon notice several barely perceptible wounds on his body.
Be gentle. It hurts.
You called me fragile, but a sea god's body isn't that sturdy. Despite saying those words, my movements become slower. I treat his wounds with the utmost care. Weren't you searching for pearls in the deep? Why did you return?
You thought I wouldn't?
I thought you'd be upset for a longer period of time.
I'm not upset. However, that doesn't mean I didn't care.
Oh, his...
A Lemurian bond grows stronger with love. The deeper the connection is between the two parties, the more powerful it becomes. Back then, our bond was so powerful that you were able to seal me away for thousands, no, tens of thousands of
a
years.
happy ending?
Only
Why?
a love with such pure and utter devotion is capable of doing that.
My clothes are falling off again. By himself, by the way. Aren't you jumping to conclusions? What if I didn't seal you away because I
Then
loved
tell
you?
me the truth. Go on now. Why did you seal me away?
His gaze is steadfast yet composed. He's waiting for me to give an answer he already anticipates. I surrender to his reasoning and gently kiss his cheek. You aren't wrong. After I finish applying the medicine, he stretches his body and brushes away the sand that's clinging onto his skin. What the fuck was that? What a glitch. What a game.
I heard you protected many humans.
Yes, at the end of the day, I can't bear to see so many pointless deaths. I still don't like Romirro, but I can't bring myself to watch it perish.
You didn't do anything wrong. Watching your kin march toward their demise is a pain more excruciating than dying. You didn't force yourself to endure that suffering. Well done.
Immediately, his tone shifts as he puts on a fox serious expression.
However, I do have objections in regards to letting those humans turn my bedchamber into a filthy mess.
It's not that bad. At least your pool is clean. Already ordered a few people to clean it. I promise your bedchamber will be spotless.
Good.
He pushes himself up, but he pauses as he's about to stand. What is it?
It's nothing.
Wait, what? Surging waves wash over the reef. As the water recedes, his tail transforms to a pair of legs. I think he changed his hair color. Why does he look different?
Let's return to the temple. I need to see its condition to feel at ease.
I nod a second later. Then I notice a small crack in the necklace's seashell. After that day, Romirro gradually returns to his former state. There are no more sudden high tides and no more unexpected storms. The text in the tome of the sea god remains the same. The nightmare of Romirro being submerged seems to vanish to thin air along with overcast sky. The prophecy didn't come to fruition. Romirro won't sink. The sea god and his bride protected us. We must express our gratitude and worship them forever. The people are immersed in the joy of surviving the catastrophe. They renovate the temples that is more magnificent and elaborate. You erect taller statues and supply Rafayel and me an endless stream of gifts. But has the dust truly settled?
Your Highness.
Seen anything like this.
Passing through the crowd of onlookers, very hurriedly approaches. She bows before me. On the shore lies a dead, enormous silver fish. It's almost as long as several adult men if they were laying down and lined up in a row.
It was discovered by the fishermen who were preparing to set sail this morning. We don't know if the fish washed ashore after it died or beached itself.
Maybe this enormous fish is a good omen from the heavens. We might have a bountiful fishing season in the near future.
I approach the creature to get a closer look. The unease that has been lingering in my heart grows heavier. If I'm not mistaken, this is the calamitous Piscis that's mentioned in the ancient texts. It's a harbinger of misfortune, an omen of disaster. The dark clouds that appeared during the lunar eclipse haven't fully dissipated, and now the calamitous Piscis has appeared. Romirro can still sink below the waves. For now, I can only act as if nothing is wrong. Worry not. Find a suitable place to bury it, and clean up this area.
Yes, Your Highness.
Highness?
By the way, Romirro was spared thanks to you and the sea god. The people want to prepare a feast to properly celebrate. They wish to invite you and the sea god.
I understand. We'll discuss it when the time comes. I walk toward the temple and tighten my grip around the seashell necklace. The crack has deepened these past few days. The seashell has begun to fracture in other places as well. I don't want to guess what this means, I just need to see Rafayel quickly. Maybe then I can dispel some of the unease in my heart. Rafayel, I need to ask you, Rafayel. Stopping the storm that night consumed too much of Rafayel's power. He's been staying in the temple to rest. Yet right now, I sense something is off. I don't hear the sound of flowing water by the pool. When I left, he was still dozing by the water's edge. I rushed to the pool only to find that the springs have dried up. The water resembles an inky black void. Worried that something happened to him, I dive into the water. The black water is unbearably cold. I grit my teeth and dive deeper. He appears to be unconscious as he sinks into this nothingness. Rafayel, wake up. Slap it. Throw some water on him. Ha ha ha. Maybe that's a bad joke. Mustering all the strength I can, I grab him. However, I'm not strong enough to pull him up. This won't work. I need to wake him up. I steady my breathing while I press my hand against his chest. I try to resonate so I can awaken some of his power. Yet time passes, there's still no response. His power is like the dried up spring. With most of it gone, it cannot respond to my resonance or voice. Why is it like this? After an initial shock, I'm momentarily at a loss. Then I notice the churning currents rushing to the deep. A bold idea appears before me. There's a location that's closely connected to the sea god. I hold the unconscious Rafayel tightly against me and swim in the direction of the current. Cough cough. Fortunately, my guess was correct. The pool's current is connected to the sea itself, which allowed me to successfully get Rafayel out of the temple. I prop Rafayel against the reef, recalling how he summoned the Fantasha shark. I make the same gesture he did and bring my hands to my lips. I whistle. After many clumsy attempts, I finally succeed. A skeletal Fantasha shark appears in the distance at the far end of the sea. It swims to my side and uses its rigid bony snout to give a friendly nudge to my hand. Can you take Rafayel and me to the sea god's tomb again? It doesn't seem to understand what I'm saying, so I repeat myself several times. Finally, it extends its fin bone and gestures for Rafayel and me to climb onto its back. Thank you. Oops. After I steady Rafayel on its back, the Fantasha shark turns around and transports us to the ocean's depths. Unexpectedly, we arrive at the sea god's tomb with ease. Maybe it's why the fuck there's two men's home at the same time. Maybe it's because Rafayel has already passed the trial. Even the guardian statue poses no challenge. After explaining the reason for our visit, they allow us to pass through the stone gates.
Young sea god. Oh, it's you two again.
Your quintessence, I'm here to make a request. I need your help. The statue of the sea god with a long beard lethargically lowers his weapon. He slowly turns his head to look at the unconscious Rafayel.
He is about to fade from existence.
That's when we see
He
it.
still needs to reclaim his true power. Yet he almost exhausted the small amount of divine energy he possesses.
Don't tell me how to do it. Don't tell me how to do it.
What did he do to end up in such a state?
What a shame. He will become the youngest sea god to fade away in our history.
Several more sea god statues move out from their stone niches. They soon join the discussion. Is there a way to save him? He can't fade away like this.
Of course.
He needs true love.
Me too.
He needs a heart that loves him unconditionally.
When he obtains the power to protect Lemuria, and the ocean recognizes his ascension to godhood, he will live for a long, long time. An almost immortal life.
This is the only way to save him.
A heart that loves him unconditionally. I recall the hidden prophecy runs home with the sea god. A heart that's filled with love is the best offering for a Lemurian. Will my heart be enough? The sea gods speak in hushed tones. Then the statue of the sea god with a long beard extends his hand toward me.
Are you willing to try?
Of course.
It will hurt. Bear with me for a moment.
I'm sure dying hurts, bro. The ancient sea god clenches his fist and a sharp pain shoots through my heart. As he guides the process, several threads of gentle light are drawn out. Strand by strand, they float into Raphael's chest. Enduring the lingering pain, I place my hand over him and try to resonate again. There's a response.
Your pure heart and the devotion from your love is enough. However, you will dissipate into sea foam once you give up this heart. That decision is yours to make.
The Sea God's tomb. How did I end up here?
You've been unconscious for a long time, and these sea gods woke you up. I quickly speak before the sea gods can say anything, then I bow respectfully to them. The sea god with a long beard gives me a profound, knowing look before slowly turning toward
The
Rafayel.
last sea god of Lemuria. May you find true salvation.
Thank you.
The sea god statues slowly retreat into their niches. Raphael turns around and I meet his intense gaze.
You're hiding something from me.
You're the one who's been hiding things from me. You've expended too much of your power, your body can't sustain itself anymore.
Are you underestimating me? Defying a prophecy from the Tome of the Sea God did take a considerable toll on me. But I'll recover in a century, give or take.
The prophecy hasn't changed though. Romirro will still be submerged, yes? Seeing Raphael's expression, my heart sinks. I was...
Yes. But that doesn't mean it can't be changed. Romirro wasn't destroyed on the third night of the lunar eclipse. So for now, it won't sink below the waves. This is our turning point. Stop frowning. Let tomorrow worry about itself. As for the present...
He takes my hand and summons water currents to carry us upward.
It's almost dawn. We might be able to watch the sunrise as we head back.
After returning from the sea god's tomb, Raphael seems to have returned to his normal self. The water in the pool has become clear again. He also doesn't spend the entire day inside the temple. Instead, he enthusiastically takes me along to explore Romirro's streets, alleys, and the wilderness. Just a tiny fragment of his heart's power is enough to revitalize him. If he received an entire heart, perhaps I am still selfish. Faced with such a choice, I still cannot let go of my desire to live. But time is cruel and doesn't give me the opportunity to hesitate. After a night of rain, dark clouds once again spread across the sky above Romirro. The time Raphael spends sleeping in the water increases with each passing day. And my necklace's seashell has developed a deeper, longer crack. Raphael, the sky has cleared. Should we go to the foot of Onikinus? The rest of my words are stuck in my throat. A large section of Raphael's tail that's immersed in the water has turned a dull gray white.
You're overthinking it. Humans have all sorts of hair colors. Why can't my tail change color? So, what were you saying about the foot of Mount Onyuna?
I was just wondering if you'd like to go out for a walk. He pauses and his tail sways gently beneath the water surface.
I'm not in the mood.
You can't turn your tail into a pair of legs anymore.
Your imagination is getting wilder by the day.
He parts the ripples on the water surface. Under the undulating waves, his tail transforms into legs.
You wake me from my peaceful nap and throw an accusation.
He adjusts his position to rest his head on my lap. He closes his eyes.
You owe me a sweet dream.
All right, all right. I gently stroke the top of his head and lean down to kiss him. The seashell around my neck dangles. It sways in front of Raphael's peaceful sleeping expression. The cracks on its surface are glaring. I grasp the seashell and gently try to wipe away those marks. I pretend not to see the scales on his legs. I pretend Raphael isn't showing any signs of something being off. I pretend that everything on his land will remain as peaceful as it is today. Several days later. Bouquets, lanterns, music. The plaza and port is immersed in the sounds of celebration. It's like a grand farewell ceremony to disaster. Rafayel stands far away from the humans. He watches to figure who's in the center of the crowd. She seems somewhat uncomfortable with the amount of enthusiasm. Slowly, however, the corners of her mouth curl. A slight smile appears on her face. He recalls those long stretches of time at the bottom of the silent ocean. The only sound he heard was the faint rattling of chains. With his eyes closed, he would construct an illusory world in his mind. He would imagine the splendor and wonder of Willowfall City, the place that had been long forgotten. Then a different voice broke into his world one day. Stupid tome of the sea god, you're worthless in every sense of the word. If you're actually useful, you would reveal the sea god's location. What gives you the right to only disclose the whereabouts of the bride of the sea god? It was a discourteous voice. It could be considered too loud to a certain extent, yet it was like the sun that occasionally appeared above the sea. He realized it was impossible to dislike. Using what little strength he had, he spoke to her for the first time. Perhaps their ending was already predetermined from that moment. The sea god must kill his bride. To truly ascend to godhood, he must destroy their bond. He refused his fate before, but now he doesn't want to accept this either.
We might have to actually bid each other farewell.
He recalls the moment when she first spoke his name. With fingertips stained in blood, he traced his name into the palm of her hand. Even so, he couldn't intertwine his fate with hers along the lines of her palm. In this way, they were spared from separation.
I need to leave Romirro again. We won't be seeing each other for some time.
I frantically search for Rafayel's figure in the crowd, but I only catch a message the sea breeze carried to me. Fortunately, our bond guides me to him. In a lit corner, I catch Rafayel's fingers.
You were in a hurry. Are you scared I'd leave without saying goodbye?
Yes? Where are you going?
I'm just looking for pearls.
No way.
Once I recover that part of my power, I'll return.
I don't believe you. His life force is fading away at an alarming rate. Under an illusion of an intact seashell lies a reality with cracks becoming increasingly more severe. His heart is also riddled with countless wounds. Rafayel, is there anything you need me to do for you? Tell me, no matter what it is, I'll do it. Just say that you want your heart back, I'll return it to you.
No.
How long will you be gone?
It's hard to say. Maybe it'll be a year or two, a century or more. Perhaps even longer than that. Don't worry. Even after I'm gone, you and Romirro will survive. This is a god's promise to you.
What is he planning to do? If he's making this kind of promise, it means he'll do something that I don't want to imagine. I won't be able to accept it. So when are you leaving? Let me see you off.
All right. I'll wait for you at sea.
My fingernails dig into my palm. The hesitation that swirled in my heart has finally crystallized into resolve. I will fulfill the promise I once made.
It's a simple melody, yet you still haven't learned it properly.
Okay, buddy. Okay, Mr. Nice Guy.
Listen carefully. This is the last time I'll teach you.
This is a pretty conch.
The sea inevitably returns to where it belongs and separates from the land.
Finally, some action. I forgot this was a romance story.
You want to say something else?
Why are my clothes falling
The
off?
sea heard your wish.
Oh my god, he has a tramp stamp.
The place you hold in my heart far outweighs this little scale.
Wait, what?
No, I refuse to accept this betrayal. The sea god doesn't need this heart. Our bond, it cannot end this way. I won't allow it.
Daylight has arrived. The tides surge, waves build upon waves. They're so powerful that they scatter the clouds in the sky. The black sea water bleeds crimson, the red fades and takes the darkness with it. The sea's original azure hues reappear. The bells Romirro toll ceaselessly as massive waves engulf the world. The land is transformed into a seabed. Seawater envelops every house, every patch of soil, every mountain range. It whispers and returns the memories from millions of years ago. Everyone steps onto a strange yet familiar homeland. They breathe the air that flows in the seawater. Lemurian memories awaken in their blood. Phantasmal whales leap from the water and return to the sea. They swim through the city that has been reborn, Willfall City. The sea god stares at his hand. There lies the pearl ring given to him by a young woman. It still gleams with a lustrous radiance. It gently encircles his finger. It's like her embrace that never let him go. It shall keep him bound to the sea forevermore. Bro still hasn't accepted my Discord request. I open Discord like once every 3 days. Okay. Oh my god. I'm reading for 3 hours straight. I have to admit, Sea God Rafayel was the hardest for me. But IDK his indifference for most of the myth. I guess I'm just missing something other people aren't. No, I feel the same exact way. I feel like we were just friends. Then I forgot we were lovers until he kissed the MC at the end. Honest to God. Which is really ironic. It's really ironic because out of all the myths I played so far, you guys are basically betrothed, right? You guys are like destined to be with each other. But I didn't feel it at all. Like
Water.
the most exciting part was when he was
You've
doing his
awakened. I see you're unaware of.
little wiggle. Right there, you know.
What you. I see you're unaware of.
Oh?
What you've awakened. I to keep me company.
Like I know the God of Absolution myth. There were back shots like right from the very beginning. Oh, thank you, Alice, for the raid. I don't know how you turned this myth into an 8-hour video. I don't know how you did it. I don't know what you yapped about, but I respect it. It's very impressive. Hello, Loxypox. Hello, Rafayel Ridabella Diner. Hello, hey Hanabi. What's up? I just finished the myth. What's up, Purple Angel? Okay, listen. I finished the myth. What do I feel about this? Honestly, for me, I really have to like give it 1 or 2 days to know how I really feel about something. Does that make sense? Alice can yap for a week straight if you let her. Hello, Becky Bug. Hello, JHP. That's too little. Okay. Let's go to her channel right now. It's like that, right? How did she do this? 7 hours and 34 minutes.
Wavier ritual doesn't require a sacred staff. Do not lie to me.
Tonight is the lunar eclipse. Without the Summonio staff to protect us, should any signs resembling calamity
I don't see
appear,
what's up, GN?
I deliberately lower my voice. At that moment, lightning tears through the clouds, the sea churns, and massive—
How did she do this? 8 hours? Anyways. But how do I really feel about this myth, though? Oops. Lamal, she almost cried. Don't worry about it. First thoughts on Lemurian Sea God. As Isis said, it did feel, based on just what I feel and not what I know, right? This myth, I feel like he did feel a little bit distant compared to the two other big myths I have played, God of Absolution and Caleb's third myth. This one, he seems very, very distant, but like for good reason, because it's part of the story, right? I felt despondent dread. How did this myth make me feel? This myth makes me feel got it, back shots. Man. How did I feel playing this? What are some core themes of this myth in particular? It's like he couldn't accept who he was. Does that make sense? He wasn't ready or something? He was ready. He was ready to break the curse, but at the same time, he was not ready. Yeah, he's a lot less girly pop here and more godly. I felt way more Neverlord. Write a 2,000 word essay. Okay, let's go through it.
You don't need to worry about asking again either.
Aren't you a god? Why are you—
I think Hawkern was a one-dimensional cartoon villain, but whatever. He doesn't matter anyways. I do think Man, it is. I honestly, if I had to be honest, I think MC is a little bit selfish. Because she just kind of. I mean, she just kind of offs herself without any kind of you know what I mean? Like, she didn't. Like, it's understandable, but in a way, it is kind of selfish. Because Rafayel was trying to work with it together. But MC just decides by herself for them. That's what I felt. That's my honest. That's how I really feel. Rafayel was going to sacrifice himself. Kind of, but he was like being an egotistical little bitch about it. He was like, you know, I'm gonna get better, and we're gonna overcome it together. I guess in a way he was still clinging on to hope, even though deep down he knew there was no hope, and MC kind of knew that. So MC was like, you know what? How about I just off myself for the both of us? She knew if she didn't, Rafayel was dying, but he was still alive. Like, I feel like in this situation, if I was MC, obviously I never had a vagina, so I don't know. But if I was MC, I would try to look for a solution. But obviously he was also unconscious. So it's like, what do you do at that point? You know what I mean? Okay, there was... When the confrontation with Hawker and Rafayel in this room was kind of... There was something weird about the scene that made me feel kind of iffy. I don't remember why.
Receive a... Kill him. His own life. As you can see... I'm willing to... Huh?
If they would like talk to each other, they could have found a solution. That goes for modern day MC and allies too.
Correct. Not have weaknesses. There will be no one left he become in it or for myself. I must kill you. Or for myself.
The cold, distant thing. I see. I remember now.
I must kill you.
Perhaps these words also contain his true feelings. Does Rafayel deal with detachment or attachment?
Farewell, bride of the sea god.
So if Rafayel... But if they loved each other, Romirro would live, right? What? So if they fall in love, then Romirro lives? But then she would have to sacrifice herself to... What? What?
Bygones. If.
Changed before we...
I think they're both playing selfish. Rafayel was ready to sacrifice himself if he doesn't find a solution, and MC knew Rafayel was dying. Rafayel was ready to sacrifice himself. The situation felt really hopeless considering in God's ties to try to find another solution, but she couldn't find one, so she sealed him. Even now, after unsealing him, the same issues are coming back with Rafayel dying.
But it's also a chain.
It's okay. I have to be honest. It seemed like Rafayel was randomly detached and randomly attached at certain parts of the myth. Does that make sense? Like,
on you. Oh.
He was like all in and then all out and then all in and then all out. It kind of confused me, not gonna lie. But obviously, thematically, you could be like, oh yeah, he's balancing his duties and roleplay as a god versus him and his true emotions. You see what I'm saying? I read someone said Raph, MC's dynamic in his myth, is kind of like Exodus reuniting, and I kind of see it. Does Angel's Corner have a video on this? Does she have an analysis? Is it this one? If she has an analysis, then I'll just watch it right now. Oh, here it is. Sure.
Raphael's third myth, Tears of Romirro, might just be one of the most beautiful myth Infold has created so far. And I'm not just talking about our ethereal beauty, face of the game Rafayel, I'm talking about everything. The music, the cutscenes, oh...
The music was bussin'.
My lord, the cutscenes, the outfits, everything was just so top tier and so majestic. Before I get started, I really want to acknowledge the hard work of everyone who brought this to life. I feel like we fawn over our boys, but we don't appreciate the people behind it enough. The creatives, the animators, artists, writers, the devs, the voice actor, they don't get nearly enough appreciation, and honestly, it's thanks to them that we get to enjoy this piece of art. They really brought this character to life, and man, I hope they get paid handsomely.
The thing about Raphael's detachment in the myth, it seems like it was how he really felt. Like, there was no reason for him to act the way he did at certain times. Does that make sense?
Because, oh my god.
Because there's no, like, greater societal... There's no one controlling him to act the way he specifically does towards MC, or, you know?
What a privilege.
So it was really strange to me to see him go hot and cold sometimes. And I forgot that we were in love.
It is to enjoy this piece of media. Before we start, you know what's coming. The usual disclaimer. I have to say it every time just in case it's someone's first time watching me. I'm not here to tell you how to think or how to digest the story. I'm just here to share my perspective and how I see it. And as clarified in the game, other love interests don't exist within the context of a specific myth. Each myth is its own contained narrative, which lets us...
But he did reference the Neverworld in the myth. So, is it connected, or is that a separate Neverworld something?
Focus on a story that's unique to that specific love interest. In this video, we're going to unpack how Tears of Romirro deepens the lore of Rafayel and MC, and how this myth fits into the bigger tapestry of the game's universe. So one of the major revelations that we got in this third myth is that it finally answers what happened after the end of God of Tides. It clears up a lot of questions, and as far as I know, since the game is still ongoing, these two myths are the only ones so far that are explicitly connected. The game is heavily implying that this is the continuation, that it's happening in the same universe, but just thousands of years apart. This is actually really important to note because with the multiverse structure in this...
He was locked up underneath the sea all alone. Oh yeah, at the beginning he lost his memories, right? I remember now. And then he regained them when they confronted Hawker, and then they kind of... Oh yeah, that's what I remember and felt about the myth. It was... Yeah, you're right about the Exes thing. It's like when two couples are fighting. That's the vibe I got, and they're trying to fix it. Oops.
Game, things can get really confusing sometimes. So to me, unless the game is telling me straight to my face that a certain myth is a continuation of another, like what it's doing here in Tears of Romirro, or that it happens in a specific timeline, like when they mention in Relentless Conqueror and Lucid Dream that these took place on Earth in the main timeline. If they don't nudge me or spell it out, I treat it as a parallel, and the game literally says multiple times that time isn't linear in this universe. Nope. I know I mentioned this before. I talk about it pretty...
I also do think that Infold makes it not linear, so they can just retcon or change anything they want to.
In depth in these two videos. I keep bringing it up because new players are always asking me how the myths fit together, especially after the release of this myth. I got a fuck ton of emails asking where the Sea of Golden Sands comes in. So here it is again. Do not try to force all the myths into a straight timeline. It's a multiverse, so every universe mirrors the others. It's not a straight timeline, it's a web. So in order to fully understand how these two myths are connected, let's start from the beginning of Tears of Romirro. This myth starts with a prophecy from the tome of the sea god. There shall be a lunar eclipse, and at the end of the third night, Romirro will be annihilated as it sinks below the ocean's wave. Romirro is described as humanity's last ark. This heavily implies that everything else had already been lost to the sea. So when the prophecy declares Romirro will be annihilated, it's not just the destruction of a city, it's the extinction of humanity, the final light extinguishing. The entire world has gradually submerged because the sea god had been sealed away for thousands upon thousands of years, causing the sea itself to turn black. And the one who sealed him, of course, is none other than MC herself, thousands of years ago in her previous life. The humans have abandoned their faith, throwing statues into the abyss, burning sacred texts, and discarding customs upheld for generations, because they believed the sea god had forsaken them. And the humans in the story are as fickle as ever. Even as they cast aside their worship, they never ceased fearing the tome, because when the tome foretells disaster, humans, afraid of what they cannot control, cling desperately to—
Oh, Raphael does bring up the fact that MC betrays him multiple times. We'll get more into it later.
The one thing that promises certainty. Prophecy. It's that fear that turned everything upside down for MC. She went from being loved and revered as the bride of the sea god, the heir to Romirro's castellan, the city's hope, to suddenly becoming their scapegoat. All it took was a single prophecy. The moment the tome warned of catastrophe, the people turned on her. And suddenly, the same hands that once offered gifts now locked her in chains. And the one who imprisoned her was Håkon, a former minister who once loyally served the city. He understood just how easily humans could be manipulated, how swiftly they abandoned reason for fear. Realizing how MC was the only one who could read and interpret the tome of the sea god, he seized the chance to exploit her. Håkon planned to harness the hysteria caused by the prophecy, forcing MC to falsely interpret the tome in his favor and legitimize his power. But throughout the years of imprisonment by Håkon, MC had been secretly conversing with the sea god himself. And just before she was about to be used again by Håkon, he spoke to her, offering to help her escape.
When the eclipse hangs high and the tides flow back, you only need to remember two things: the sea god's Summoneo staff, the sea's Ritualis hymn. When the time comes, I will answer your call.
One consistent thing in every myth is that MC is always driven by her fierce desire for freedom, her will to live. In Tears of Romirro, this drive compels her to blindly trust a voice she couldn't even be certain belonged to the sea god or not. But because of her desire to live, and honestly, she's got nothing to lose, she listened and followed every instruction without hesitation. She sang the sea's Ritualis hymn and she felt his presence as he shielded her, repelling those who tried to stop her until she felt compelled to leap into the sea. And beneath the endless waves, she finally found him, the sea god who had been sealed away for tens of thousands of years. She came face to face with the owner of the voice that had been speaking to her through all those years of captivity. She helped free him, shattering the runes, blissfully unaware that she was the one who'd sealed him there in the first place. And after countless years of silent waiting, the last sea god finally reawakened. One thing that I really love about all this is how even though they were both trapped and isolated, Rafayel at the bottom of the ocean, MC locked away on land, they slowly became each other's only source of comfort. For Rafayel, those endless years in the deep were nothing but silence and the rattle of his own chains, with nothing but memories to keep him company. He would build entire worlds in his mind just to pass the time, but then MC's voice cut through that darkness, and she's loud, she's a little rude, but so full of life that it was impossible to ignore, and he can't help but use what little strength he had left to reach out to her, because to him, her voice was like a ray of sunlight breaking through the endless dark sea. And for MC, when she first heard him, she thought she was actually losing her mind from being locked up for too long, and she didn't even trust him at first. But over time, she actually found herself waiting for him, and his voice made her loneliness bearable. In a way, they both made each other's suffering just a little less miserable, almost like they were keeping each other afloat in the middle of all that darkness. And I think it's such a nice mirror. Both of them are trapped, not just physically, but because of the roles they were forced into by fate. Neither of them ever asked for any of this, and yet somehow they end up being the only person
but it seems like every myth, it seems every myth, they always put the duties or the roles of MC or the LI against their individual feelings for each other.
The world who truly understands what the other is going through. It's kind of poetic, actually. So once Rafayel was free and they're back on land, Rafayel went after the people who had abused RMC, and he even offered to kill them for her, which honestly, I find that so attractive. When a man offers to kill someone for me, I'm all yours. But this wasn't for nothing. This wasn't coming from nowhere. So even though they'd been talking to each other all that time while they were both trapped, they were
just texting each other, you know?
Still basically strangers. Rafayel remembers their bond, and they both know that she's supposed to be his bride, but at this point, none of them remember what happened in the past and how she became the bride of the sea god.
Oh, like, you know, I'm your boyfriend, you're my girlfriend, so why do we like each other?
Rafayel had been in a deep slumber for thousands and thousands of years. His powers haven't fully returned yet, and they're both kind of starting over. Aside from their bond, these two, even though they're strangers, they're kind of bound to each other because they kind of have the same goal. MC, who's just gotten her freedom, needs Rafayel, the sea god, to save Romirro so she can actually live and not just immediately die after being released. But for that to happen, Rafayel needs to get his power back. And to regain his power back, he has to follow the prophecy. Lemurians who seeketh absolute power, combat the treacherous tides, dive into the deep for pearls, find a true love. This incomplete prophecy is what kind of started it all in this myth. Later, we're actually shown what the full version of the prophecy is, and if you remember, this was also teased way back in the Sea of Golden Sands myth, which was released more than a year ago. So it's all been building up to this. But yeah, this incomplete prophecy is the thing that pushes them.
My favorite myth, my favorite Rafayel myth so far is the Golden Sands one, when he's the little assassin boy.
Together leads them to uncover their past.
Maybe I like that one because it has a happy ending, for God's sake.
Lives, and eventually rekindles their forgotten love. And at the same time, it totally dooms them. This is how their bittersweet story starts in this myth. It didn't begin as
just something about the Rafayel Sand myth was just so sweet, like a sweet dream. I think it's one of my favorite myths so far. It's just very relaxing.
Fairy tale romance. It was just two people with their own agendas, tangled up in prophecy, and both just trying to get by. And speaking of prophecy, one of the things Rafayel needs to do to get his power back is reforge his trident. To do that, he has to enter the tomb of the sea god. And this is where things get really interesting. The tomb is watched over by 33 statues of the previous sea gods. And these statues aren't just decoration, they're alive. So usually, the sea god is supposed to battle through each level and defeat all 33 statues to prove himself.
But he cheated.
But Rafayel, he just cheeses the whole thing, outsmarting the statues and zipping past them before they could even register what's going on. For Rafayel, it's not about brute force, it's about efficiency. He's not like a dumb brute. He skipped the entire traditional grind. This is honestly one of my favorite scenes in the myths, and it's hilarious and it's so on brand for him. So when he finally reaches the altar, this is where the game really starts connecting the dots back to the God of Tides myth. The puzzles start clicking into place. The altar speaks, and a part of Rafayel's power is restored. In that moment, MC gets a vision. She sees the exact moment they formed their bond, centuries ago, before Rafayel was ever sealed away.
Which I think we also did in the main story.
In Lemuria, a bond best represents an everlasting...
Wait, in the main story, did we do this oath again? Or was that a flashback of something else? I don't remember. I remember it happening in the main story, though.
And oath, when you offer the sincerest form of
the main story that Infold forgot that they had.
Worship from the depths of your soul. My soul will be branded with your mark.
She recovered a part of her...
Do you think Infold is trying to... If Infold just never talks about the main story, do you think that we'll all just forget about it? You know?
Memories from her previous life. The reason she's the bride of the sea god, the reason her name showed up in the tome, it all goes back to this Lemurian covenant. This covenant is also the reason why Rafayel could even communicate to MC while they were both trapped.
And once a bond is formed, it shall never disappear. No matter where you are, or what form you take, I will always be able to find you and recognize you.
This bond
Oh no, I remember now. This was his first myth. And then you see the flashback of this all happening.
Transcends lifetimes. Even when they don't remember, they're always tied to each other. Even though Rafayel has been in slumber for thousands and thousands of years, and MC is no longer her previous self from the God of Tides myth, he's still able to find her and talk to her, because they're always connected. So while MC is only learning about this Lemurian covenant now, Rafayel has known about it all along. He just never told her, because this bond means she can command him and he can't go against her will. It's basically a vulnerability for him. And after seeing how nasty humans are in this myth, I kind of get why Rafayel kept it a secret. Like, imagine just telling a random human that she actually—
Okay, so in that case, Rafayel would have to do whatever she wanted to do anyways, right?
He has the power to command you, a god. Especially when you just got your freedom back after being chained up for thousands of years. That's a huge risk. And I don't blame him for being cautious. And also, the writers did such an amazing job of portraying how fickle humans can be in this myth, of how fast they switch from loyalty to hatred and then right back to flattery the moment they're scared or impressed by power. It really makes you see why Rafayel just doesn't care about human opinions and why he holds so—
In my opinion, it's not even about fickleness, about status or whatever. I think it's a reminder that when the material world is falling apart, humans will go back to basics. So, I mean, if you're about to die, then fuck, you gotta change shit up. Which is why, like, in the world, you know, if you don't follow the law, what's gonna happen to you? Well, they're gonna kill you. Or they're gonna lock you up in jail, right? Once your physical world changes, then everything else also changes. Perception versus function, basically.
For their shallow devotion. After watching how quickly they betrayed MC and just as quickly they went back to worshipping Rafayel when it benefited them, I understand how he feels. These are creatures driven by survival and self-interest.
Yup.
But I wouldn't say that they're that different from Lemurians. And I'll get into why I think so. But first, I want to talk about their bond. The Lemurian covenant they formed thousands of years ago in God of Tides. The mark that they have, their bond, it's easy to look at that mark and just see it as a romantic symbol, like a sign of eternal bond or love. But if you look at what's really going on, and if you go beneath the surface, it's not just a mark of love or affection.
Okay, and so this is my ideal world, okay? If I'm MC, though I'm not a girl, and Rafayel's dying, and Romirro is dying, and I'm dying, I would rather talk to him and die together than make the choice for him. But that's just me personally. But, you know, a girl can do what she wants.
It's a rite. It's a ritual. It's a sacrificial covenant that binds the sea god to his bride. So MC actually learns the truth about this during that moment when she's captured by Hawkern again. This is where he finally admits that his true goal is to revive Lemuria. And I'm not going to talk that much about him because honestly he's basically an overly ambitious side villain who's actually a Lemurian and ends up turning himself into a Frankenstein sea monster out of pure desperation. Although I did think it was interesting that he's the only Lemurian who still remembers Lemuria. I even suspected he was Elder Amund for a second, since Amund was obsessed with reviving Lemuria.
Well, he can't read though. Hawker can't read.
Back in Sea of Golden Sands. But the game never really expanded on that, and then Hawkern just died, so I'm not gonna wreck my brain over a side villain who got clapped. Still, I kind of felt bad for him because all he wanted was his home back. But anyway, in that room, Hawkern basically helps MC put together the puzzle pieces of her past. Finally helps her understand the true nature of her bond with Rafayel, and the role she plays as the sea god's follower. He shows her another fragment of the sea god's tome, a smaller piece that broke off from the larger stone tablet. And that fragment actually contains the full prophecy, the complete version, which also shows up in a future parallel, Sea of Golden Sands, which I mentioned before. This is how the prophecy goes. Find a true love. When blessed with a true love's kiss, claim her heart by your own hand. A heart
we know
you can receive.
He needs more than true love. True love is just a stepping stone to him.
This is why I see that mark as a ritual. When Raphael tried to go to the tomb on his own to reforge his trident to get his power back, the stone guardian wouldn't let him because the mark on his soul was never actually complete. The ritual he was supposed to finish to reach godhood was never completed because in Lemurian terms, offering your heart isn't just a poetic way of saying I love you, it's literal. The covenant demands both devotion and sacrifice. To me, when they're offering their hearts to each other here in God of Tides, saying things like, I'm willing to offer you my heart and I gave you my heart, like on the surface, it's a love confession, but underneath, there's this ancient soul-binding ritual happening that neither of them fully understands in that moment. To complete their bond mark or the ritual, each sea god doesn't get to cherish the hearts of their beloved or protect it. They have to take it, literally. But Raphael never made the sacrifice, even though MC was willing. He just couldn't do it because he loved her too much. And this whole rite, this completing of the bond mark, is something that every sea god has to complete to ascend to godhood. All 33 of those sea gods, the ones represented by the statues in the
and he's willing to give up godhood to be with you.
Tomb, they've done it. They each found their true love, received love from their one devout follower, and then killed them during the sea god ceremony. This is how they ascended to godhood, lived almost immortal lives, and this is how they've protected Lemuria and kept its flame alive until they eventually perish and a new sea god was born. But the last incarnation of the god of the sea, Raphael, instead of doing what he was supposed to do, fulfilling his duty to keep Lemuria alive, he did something different. He gave Lemuria's flame to MC and sent her away to find another way to keep Lemuria alive. To find a wake mentioned in legends.
Okay, this is why I said, because Raphael is hell-bent on finding an alternate path, in my opinion.
In a place where all oceans converge. Raphael did this because he realized that
he is a creative boy after all.
Method Lemuria had been using to keep its flame alive and its civilization alive had been wrong. This is why I said earlier that the Lemurians are not so different from humans.
Oh, so yeah. So in a way, another reason why I disagree with MC's choice is because she's fulfilling a prophecy that was placed upon her by the Lemurian society, which she did not have to fulfill, even though, I mean, he's dying or whatever, but you still don't have to go through it, right? So in my opinion, you're basically choosing to be a slave to the prophecy.
This so-called glorious civilization, a place where gods existed and legend said they were pure and didn't seek war, well, it turns out they're not as righteous and idealized as humans thought the legend said. I mean, how different can you really be from these so-called greedy humans when at the core, your civilization's flame and the ascension of the god you worship depends on sacrifice, on blood? The Lemurians, their actions are also driven by survival and self-interest for the sake of self-preservation. When Raphael handed the flame to MC instead of going through with the ceremony, the Lemurians freaked out, claiming they'd been deceived. Yes, they did not know what the sea god ceremony really required, since it hadn't happened in thousands of years and no one alive had witnessed the last one except for maybe Amund. But let's be real, if they had known, they would have absolutely gone ahead with it. There's no way they would let their civilization crumble and willingly die. This is why, at the end of the day, I think Lemurians aren't so different from humans. When survival is on the line, even the purest society is willing to put someone on the chopping block. And that's what makes Raphael different. Instead of following the same old cycle, sacrifice...
Yeah, he said, fuck you guys, I'm out.
Ascension, repeat, he chooses to break the chain. He refuses to become just another sea god and follows the prophecy blindly.
Oh, that's why he says you betrayed, because he's been his entire being into breaking he put his entire being into telling Lemurian to go fuck themselves. And then all of that work, MC just, you know, poof. She decides to stab herself out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, fuck. Well, I gotta go find you for in the next life.
In my opinion, the tome calls him the last god of the sea because he's the first to actually question the cost of their so-called glory and try to change the fate of both Lemuria and himself. And he's done this in all his incarnations, in every one of his myths. This mindset, this refusal to accept things as they are, is always there. So during whatever journey MC took to find this wick Rafayel talked about, she learned something crucial about Lemuria's existence. Lemuria was a civilization that should have never existed. Destruction was its predetermined fate. The last god of the sea perishes, along with Lemuria. It's not a slumber, it's oblivion. He will disappear from this world. MC was of course mortified when she learned about this, so she went back to Lemuria and used the power she had over him to seal him as a desperate act to keep him alive, imprisoning him forever in the deep sea until Lemuria is ready for rebirth. Until the world reaches that moment,
I see. So he was willing to die because he's willing to destroy Lemuria. If he truly believes that Lemuria is rotten, then he's willing to sacrifice himself. But then MC is like, you know what I mean? MC just totally breaks that. And that's why he says, oh, you betrayed me.
Won't be awakened. And that moment didn't come until MC was reborn tens of thousands of years later. After sealing him, MC said the lines we first saw back in God of Tides. I fucking love the way the writers are connecting everything. Like, this is such a nice and subtle way to imply
I'll cut out your heart with a dagger honed, my darling, and in love's name your heart will become my faith. Your body will be washed clean, shine like a pearl. I will care for your heart till we meet again.
That these two myths are connected. Like, they've been planning all this since more than a year ago. It's such a nice way to connect everything. Also, notice how it says Siren's Ballad Act 3. So since we know that Rafayel used to be an opera singer in Verona, based on his third anecdote, was it third or second? I don't know.
I remember that.
Since we know that he used to be an opera singer, is this something that we're gonna see in the main timeline? Like, are we gonna get opera singer Rafayel? But yeah, anyway, back to Tears of Romirro. After realizing the truth, MC feels incredibly guilty after she realizes that she was the one who sealed Rafayel, almost blaming herself and thinking she's selfish for not sacrificing herself, for wanting to live. Honestly, she had—
Perhaps I'm still selfish, faced with such a choice. Oh, I see. So Rafayel obviously wanted her to live and Lemuria to perish, but due to her second guessing herself, in a way, this is a lack of communication, honestly. And that's why they were kind of arguing like a couple, like an ex. Like they were having communication issues, blah, blah, blah.
Every right to want to survive. She had every right to fight for her life. And the truth is, their meeting was just a twist of fate. When she first met Rafayel in God of Tides—
Well, obviously, it was written with irony in mind. For sure, lack of communication. Yeah.
The oath they made, the kiss. It happened only because she was about to be sacrificed. She didn't ask for any of this.
But the oath and the vows, the covenants, the everything, this is like the concept of having expectations of someone else, and you have your own perception of them, and they have your own perception of them, and you have a perception of your relationship, and they have a perception of the relationship, and everything just kind of, both of you have your best intentions in mind, but everything just kind of blows up because there's been some misunderstanding, etc., etc.
Just like Rafayel didn't ask to become the sea god, they're both unwilling participants, bound by the strings of fate, pawns in some cosmic game. Just like MC never wanted to be a sacrifice or the bride of the sea god, Rafayel didn't seek the flames that marked his destiny. He was found bathed in flames under the union of dusk and dawn. He just freaking spawned out of nowhere and anointed without a choice. He never wanted the burden of godhood, and he never wanted to be an instrument for Lemuria's preservation. From the start,
I never wanted to be born an Asian e-boy K-pop twink, but here I am.
neither of them had any agency over the roles fate forced on them. They're both stuck carrying the weight of destiny and desperately trying to reclaim some control over their own lives. And honestly, MC sealing Rafayel is her way of returning the favor. It's a powerful mirror. Just like how Rafayel gave her the flame instead of completing the sacrifice, she now...
But when someone else said, like, it reminded them of bringing up their ex, you know how, like, couples who argue or hate each other always have their best interest for the other person, but the other person is just not receiving or not understanding the other person's choice of love for them, and then they get mad at the other person, but it's a misunderstanding. This is what the entire MILF I almost said MILF. Well, the entire myth felt for me.
Chooses to seal him instead of letting him vanish forever.
And the way how it's written here, how I'm seeing it, how it's written here, and there's so many ironies and parallels, I think, was it intended? I don't know, but it feels that way. It makes me feel that way.
They both betrayed.
And the only thing that matters is how you feel.
Divine roles for each other. That is romantic as hell and tragedy coded to perfection.
Yep.
They tried to fight
Tragedy
the prophecy
coded.
and fate again and
I
again.
like that. Tragedy coded, right? That's love in Deepspace. Everything is tragedy coded.
And in this myth. At the end of Romirro's short summer, they did everything they could to prevent the prophecy from happening again. The eclipse. Rafayel.
Right. When you have a terrible relationship with someone you love, and you know that the relationship is gonna fucking explode, you know that you guys cannot understand each other, even though you guys keep trying, you guys love each other, but you guys cannot fucking communicate or appreciate. You guys have different love, what's the word? Displays of affection, not displays. What's that word? Love languages, right? You guys have different and value different love languages, but in your mind, you guys both love each other, but it's gonna explode. It's gonna explode. That's what it felt like to me, this myth.
Used the very last of his divine power to hold back the disaster, just so Romirro wouldn't sink beneath the waves. He literally pushed himself to the brink of disappearing, using up everything he had, all because MC didn't want Romirro to sink. Listen, that man was ready to risk it all. He was dying at the end of it. But he's in absolute denial, and he was pretending that he was okay the whole time. And speaking of denial and pretending, ever since they both saw that flashback of MC sealing him and realized that to complete the ritual, Rafayel would have to take her heart and kill her, he's been running from the truth because he said this.
What I want is a heart with pure and utter devotion. Its love for me should come from the very depth.
Running from the truth because you love this person so much, but you know that you can't be together, and you guys, I mean, maybe you guys in chat can understand if you ever been, for me, it wasn't even a relationship, it was a friendship with someone I really cared about, but it was more like, you guys have so many memories together, but whenever you guys hang out, it's just really bad, but at the same time, it's really good sometimes too. You know what I mean? And you know the relationship has to end, but you're in denial and you don't want it to end. That's Rafayel. And you know, he could be like a Caleb or Rafayel. There's some dudes who are like, they're willing to suffer or take some pain for the relationship because they want the idealized relationship, or they want it to keep on going.
It's of one soul. The answer is clear. Your heart is of no use to me, for now at least.
To me, it really feels...
The feeling of him being hot, cold, and that gave me the same vibe whenever you're mad at that person you hate or / love, but at the same time, you know, deep down you love them, but you know, sometimes you gotta feel like you're indifferent or something. The next time you want to ask why didn't they leave an abusive relationship, there's why. True.
It's like he doesn't want it to be true. They both have fallen in love with each other. He knows it, and she knows it. But since it's what the prophecy said, that they need to fall in love, it's almost like he doesn't want it to be true because he knows that he's gonna have to kill her. At that point, he didn't even care about getting his power back if it meant killing the one person he loves,
Yep.
his bride. He was literally ready to leave and die alone, using the excuse of looking for pearls and never come back. It's honestly so bittersweet and a little funny seeing them go from strangers who found the idea of falling in love with each other completely repulsive to realizing that their love literally caused the destruction of an entire civilization. But even though they've managed to escape their fate thousands of years ago, this time they couldn't escape it. MC was not about to let Rafayel disappear. They had one last moment together. And that kiss they shared in the cutscene, it's so beautiful and tense and reverent. It's almost like Rafayel is worshipping her because he really believes it's their last moment together. This man was really about to die alone. The look on his face says it all. This is a farewell, but we all know how it ends. MC uses the power of their covenant to finally, truly give him her heart. With that, she ends their everlasting bond, finally completing the sea god ceremony, the ritual that they avoided thousands of years ago.
Did
the Lemurian
someone
legends
said Alice
dictate-
cried? Did she really cry? Did she really cry? I want to see her reaction to this.
And massive waves crash onto the shore. That's Wrath helping us. I just know. And take power of the sea.
Wait, is this a replay?
Now, with the power of the sea god's
Okay.
vow, our covenant, Raphael, obey my command,
Not on
stab
this
me
myth.
and take my heart.
Alice cries all the time. Alice didn't cry during this myth. Okay. Which myth did she cry on?
Hated that love and the bond shared with their follower were restraints.
But she cries all the
Weaknesses that each sea god was supposed to sever in order to fully
I shed a tear for Zane's Master of Faith, and then I kind of cried, but it's not. I didn't really cry on stream because crying is gay, and I'm a masculine man. I'm not allowed to cry. So, but something did get in my eye for God of Absolution at the end, because seeing Zane's face going no no no, a little bit painful. For Seer, I think. What is KOD abbreviated for?
Ascend to godhood.
Is that a savior one?
Yet
I didn't finish two. I have two savior ones to go.
Ironically, this exact bond, their love, seen as a weakness, became MC's greatest strength. It gave her,
King of Dark
someone
Knight.
who
Oh, yeah.
once feared death and fought
I didn't do that one yet.
desperately to survive, the courage to embrace sacrifice for the person she loved. And from her sacrifice, Raphael gained his power back. And with that, the Lemurians awakened from their long slumber, and Whalefall City was reborn. But that's not actually the end. If we look back at God of Tides, it describes what happened after this. Okay, so the part that goes, no one knows what happened that day, that's them all falling into slumber thousands of years ago, when Raphael gave MC the flame. Now, after her sacrifice and Whalefall City's rebirth, every Lemurian who fell asleep all those years ago suddenly gets their memories back. And Raphael, the sea god, walks out of the temple alone, holding a small, pulsing flame. This is the flame Raphael gave to MC, but now instead of fading out, it's renewed, pulsing with life. And this part is also interesting. No Lemurian has ever seen the sea god's follower. Obviously, they're talking about MC. She spent some time in Lemuria in God of Tides. And then when she sealed Raphael, they all forgot what happened. They turned into the citizens of Romirro. And then now, when Lemuria is reborn, my guess is that when it says no Lemurian has ever seen the sea god's follower, I think it means that they forgot all the time they spent with MC as a human in Romirro. You know, all the time they almost sacrificed her and worshipped her as a sea god's bride. Like, their memories of her are just gone. Now, let's move on to the next one. They're gone. Whereabouts unknown. Only many, many years later, after the god of the sea has perished, when the kingdom has sunk to the depths of the ocean, a rumor begins to circulate in Lemuria. The god of the sea had lied to the deep sea for his beloved. So this part, it's talking about the far future, after the last incarnation of the sea god, Raphael, has perished. We don't know exactly how far ahead this is, but since the statues of the previous sea gods mention that they live almost immortal lives after ascending. This has to be tens of thousands of years after the rebirth of Lemuria. As for what this lie is, I'm not entirely sure, but to me, it feels like the game is saying that
What if him saying you betrayed me is a lie and he planned it because he's a crafty little boy?
after the last sea god perishes, only then do the Lemurians finally learn what their god actually did during the sea god ceremony thousands of years ago, before they were reborn. Because as the story says, no one knows what happened that day. But also, this line right here,
But the idea that Raphael is willing to die, and then in the main story he wants to bring Lemuria back, because in this myth, if my idea of him being okay offing off himself and Lemuria dying too is true, that would not make sense in the main story because he wants to bring Whalefall City and Lemuria back. So
notice how it's written, when the last god of the sea perished. It didn't say that Lemuria perished. Lemuria remains, and it didn't perish.
Especially, I'm assuming he knows about his, because he heard them say, he heard them call him the last sea god of Lemuria, right? So the implication of them knowing that he's the last one because he's willing to end the Lemurian whatever, the ritual. Maybe it's just a ritual. Or maybe you could just say, oh, in the main story, he's trying to bring a new Lemuria back and call it New Lemuria and have a new ritual and not have these, archaic bad rituals, whatever, blah, blah, blah. In that sense, okay, sure.
Him. So I think this is because of MC. She's an inexhaustible source of energy, a literal cosmic being. By sacrificing
She's a battery.
herself and becoming their flame, the Lemurians did not need a sea god to keep sacrificing anyone. That's why Raphael is the last god of the sea, and why Lemuria survived even after he was gone. Well, that's just my take on it. I could be wrong, but I feel like that makes sense, because why would Lemuria remain when the sea god perished? The only explanation would be it's because of the flame.
Because MC's flame is special because she's a battery.
Kept burning. It's MC. It's MC's essence.
There
She's
you
an
go.
inexhaustible source of energy. Also, I just want to say, with what we know now about Lemuria using sacrifice to preserve its civilization, it's giving Philos from Xavier's Shooting Stars myth. They feel very similar to me. Both are bad, but I actually feel like Lemuria is a bit more messed up because it feels so intimate. It requires both the god and their chosen follower to genuinely fall in love, only for the god to end up killing them. It's like the whole ritual is built to test whether a god can handle mortal emotions like love and not let that.
But also, but you can also argue that if someone truly loves you, they would be willing to give their heart, no problem. There's that too.
Love rule them. Remember how in God of Tides, the kid said the god needs to receive a heart from a human because it's the most sacred offering a sea god can receive? This is just my take, but I think there's more to it than that. The more I sit with it, the more I think that this is a test of detachment, of supremacy. The divine is supposed...
that's why I kept seeing hints of detachment in the entire fucking myth. All right, because he needs to give up his humanity to be detached, to serve his duties as a god, just like how Xavier has to detach himself from the individuals and his mortality and humanity or whatnot to fulfill his roles as a king. Cool.
To be above everything, above longing, above pain, above love. If a god can sever their own heart, kill the person they love most, and
right, so if you kill the person you love the most, you fulfill your duty and role as the sea god because you are not being controlled by your human attachments to other people.
Still carry on with their duty.
Now, this is why it felt kind of cringe when he was being cold, because it reminds me of those dudes who are 13 years old and they read Death Note or watch Code Geass and they're like, yeah, I'm above other human beings. People feel, but I don't feel. And, you know, you have desires, but I don't have desires. I'm a logical, rational human being, blah, 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 blah. That's why he was so fucking cringe to me sometimes. Honest to God. Now I get it.
And they're no longer bound by human weakness. And since I'm already comparing these two civilizations...
Oh, love and relationships is a human weakness. This is 13-year-old mentality, okay? You as a human being are flawed. You are made up of your failed experiences. Your successes are made from your past failures. You are your scars. There is no such thing as a perfect human. All humans are imperfect. All humans fall down. The difference is that you will stand up because you're a human being. The ones who are successful, they rise again, they stand up again. You are your scars. You are your failures. You are your mistakes. That's who you are. So the idea of a god being like ascending to godhood and being perfect, in my idea. Now, some people really do believe in this idea, especially online. When you like go to like some cringe spaces for dudes and they're trying to like, you know, be like a stoic or whatever, right? They try to disregard their emotions in their relationships. It's all cringe shit. Listen.
Saviors Philos and Lemuria. What's really interesting is that Lemurians, even though they're not humans, Philosians aren't really humans too. But anyways, they're different, but they share the exact same existential fear as Philos. Both civilizations are obsessed with preserving themselves indefinitely to defy death and impermanence. They build rituals and mechanisms specifically for that purpose, to sustain themselves eternally. A similar thing is also happening.
Raph's choker? Oh, like his choker? You mean you choke him?
In the main story, right? Like Ever trying to achieve immortality because they don't want to face death. There's this ongoing theme of just living things,
I guess
fighting
technically,
the cycles of nature, fighting death. Right now, there's still so many loose ends and unanswered questions when it comes to Raphael's lore, even though we've got a lot of answers in this myth. But one thing that is really clear is that it's...
So that's when you asked me, hey Calvin, how was Lemurian Sea God when you first joined in the chat? The vibe I was thinking of was cringe, but I didn't know how to explain it properly. But now I understand why it felt a little cringy at times. Well, why Raphael felt cringy at times.
It's really obvious that
because it's cringy because he's being a 13-year-old cringe edgelord, but deep down you know he loves you. It's like, well, why are you being such a fucking cringe ass edgelord? Stop it. You love her. Just say you love her.
Sea God is a separate entity. In the Sea God ceremony flashback, Raphael almost took MC's life because he lost control for a moment, which means when Hawkern said,
akin to how a starving person seeks food, ripping out
This is why Hawkern was a cringe ass edgelord too, because the way he thinks is that, oh, he lives in paranoia, right? He's like, he thinks what's the word? Like, he thinks like an animal. He thinks like an animal, so he projects that animalistic nature. He thinks everyone else also acts like an animal. You know how a stupid person thinks everyone else is stupid? Or you know how a stupid person thinks everything's about money, and then they just self-project everyone else as only after money? It's like kind of like that. That's why Hawkern is like a one-dimensional whatever. Who gives a shit?
Is the Sea God's natural instinct.
Projection? Yes.
He meant it literally. It's
you
a
want to
natural
see projection? Go on Twitter.
Instinct for the Sea God to just take their followers' heart to ascend to become a proper god. Based on how Raphael almost killed MC, it probably means that all the previous Sea Gods, all 33 of them, most likely involuntarily killed their beloved because they lost autonomy over their body. And Raphael somehow managed to take back control. How come he's able to do that? How come he's the one that could take control of his body back, even for a moment? Actually, there's this recurring pattern of main characters losing control and autonomy over their bodies. Raphael with the Sea God, Caleb with the Touring Chip, Silas in Beyond Cloudfall Myth, and Zane too in the main timeline. And even MC, low-key almost did in Long-Awaited Revelry. I talked about what I think this is for MC in my MLQC video, but yeah, pretty much everyone's experienced this, except for Xavier. The closest thing to him losing
control. I heard My Love Queen's Choice. I heard Love and Deepspace recycled a lot of, well, the concept of evil powers was recycled from My Love Queen's Choice, but I don't know to what extent.
control is when he passes out from his evil suppressor necklace thingy. But that's not really the same. He's not becoming someone else. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that in a story so centered around cosmic origins, gods, advanced technology, and intricate multiverses, this whole idea of losing control really highlights a central theme. No being can fully escape the laws of the universe, fate, predetermined endings, destiny, whatever you want to call it. And honestly, that's what makes their struggles hit so hard. Even the strongest characters, a literal god, can't outrun fate. We also
Labs is in the same universe as My Love Queen's Choice? Really? That's interesting.
Still don't know how MC and Raphael actually formed their bond in the main timeline, or how Lemuria got destroyed.
Okay, on the point
of
godhood
yes.
and fate, okay? Listen, even though these characters were gods, even though some of these like Savior is a king, even if you have a high status or a high position, you are still bounded by your physical vessel, right? So imagine if human beings didn't have a physical vessel and all you had to do was just imagine something and it would happen, right? And everyone had that power, the world would be in chaos. Because look at Roblox. You know when you're on Roblox and you have 20 people on a huge drawing pad and you have everyone start drawing dicks and titties and bad words on the drawing pad? That's what life would be if you didn't have your physical vessel or your temple, right? So like, even if you're a god, even if you're a king, you still have things you have to take care of. You still have duties or responsibilities, because those titles and roles exist for a function by fate, by society, physically, socially, mentally, it doesn't matter. So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you because the next time you feel lazy or you feel terrible about taking care of yourself, or what's the word? Or you wish you had more money, or you wish you were in a different position. It doesn't matter if you had more money or you were in a different position. You would still have duties and responsibilities you would have to take out. And for me personally, this is how I got over, me realizing that having limits is just part of human life, I started taking better care of myself physically. Like exercising. For me, it was like, For me, I would always get stressed because I feel like I'm not doing enough work. But then I realized, you know what? I'm a dude. I'm just a dude. I'm just a monkey. And a monkey can only do what monkeys can do. So just be a monkey.
We know they were experimented on by Ever, and we know that Ever might be using RMC to capture Raphael. If not Ever, then I don't know who this might be. Maybe we're gonna get a new villain or something. But how did Lemuria in the main timeline actually fall into ruin? When Ever discovered Lemuria in 2034, after summoning or creating MC, after receiving a signal from Deepspace,
that's in 8 years, bro. That's crazy.
Lemuria was already in ruins.
Is it gonna happen in 8 years?
What actually happened? And also, when Raphael gets taken over by the Sea God in Prologue to Tomorrow and calls MC a traitor, now that it was revealed that MC was the one who sealed him in Tears of Romirro, and since we know that all the universes in this multiverse kind of mirrors each other, I feel like we might see what he really meant by that in the near future. And I think the that card, the really hard.
My question is he trying to destroy Lemuria or not?
The one where Raphael bites MC's hand. Oh, fuck, I forgot what it's called. That card that dropped over a year ago might have actually been foreshadowing what happened to him in the past in the main timeline.
You're gonna lock me up again.
Ooh.
You're with them, I just know it. I won't fall for it again. Not this time.
And another thing, in this myth, in Tears of Romirro, Raphael never found the pearl,
he loves Lemuria?
the one mentioned in the Tome of the Sea God. It's not the ring MC gave him.
It is his homeland. No, what I mean is like, because he was willing to die for MC, which means if he dies, Lemuria dies, right? You see what I'm saying? But like, what if he wants Lemuria to die?
So where is it? Is it this? Is it his tears?
Which is why I brought up earlier, that probably doesn't make sense, because in the main story he's trying to bring back Lemuria, unless he's trying to bring back new Lemuria and like make a new Lemuria. Lemuria was Romirro, it would be safe either way. In Link on timeline, he wants his cake and eat it.
Since all the universes in this multiverse mirror each other, that means every universe that has Lemuria and the Tome and Raphael as the last sea god, there should be a pearl too.
But that's the question. When he calls MC a traitor, why is she a traitor? Right? That's why I want to know how he feels about Lemuria.
So in the main timeline, is this the pearl? We still have no idea what this thing is. Yeah,
there's
still so many questions and loose ends and things left unanswered. But as always, as I always say, that is a good thing. That means we have a lot to look forward to. And I just really, again, want to applaud the writers for how meticulously they've planted everything and planned it out. When you look at it from a bird's eye view, it's not chaotic or random at all. Things actually make sense, and it just shows how much care and attention went into the world building and the story. It is so satisfying.
It is, on a macro level, lore-wise, sure. On the broad spectrum, it connects, but it indirectly connects, and there's a lot of filling in the gaps. And I feel like that's why they're not progressing with the main story, because either they don't know what they have yet, or they haven't finished some, or they haven't decided which timeline or which way they want to take the story forward. This man is killing people as revenge for murder. I assure you he doesn't hate them. No. What I'm saying is that he doesn't like killing MC to fulfill the prophecy for Lemuria. You see what I'm saying? So in that way, he does disdain Lemuria in that sense, which is why either he's trying to destroy old Lemuria and bring a new Lemuria, because he's called the last sea god, right? So just because he's the last sea god doesn't mean he can be the new first sea god of something else new. And he calls MC a traitor. For what reason? Other than, is it just for locking him up, or is it because MC messed with his plans to destroy or kill the old culture of old Lemuria? But that's only my guess from what I know so far.
Seeing everything fall into place, and it just goes to show how we need to trust the writers more to guide us through the story and approach the story with curiosity and an open mind. But even though the writers are being really vague about a lot of things, they are being...
The writers are vague maxing like Sakuno.
Kind of clear.
And right now we're projecting all the best things about the story onto them.
About one thing, and my gut is telling me that the next big reveal is gonna tie back to the Island of Song.
He just doesn't appreciate how Lemurians need to sacrifice to save his own. That's what I mean. He's trying to either rewrite the culture or change something about Lemuria. And to do that, you need to destroy the old Lemuria. And by destroy, I don't mean like you have to fucking nuke the place or blow it up.
That is the birthplace of...
He's trying to change it.
Lemuria, and maybe the key to understanding how the very first sea god...
Or he can just say, oh, you're betraying me because you're not doing the things I want for the future. Maybe you're only betraying me because you're not doing what's in my best interest for, or what my idea of the best interest is for Lemuria and us. But we'll see. Remember, everything is vague. We don't know anything.
Came to be. They teased it in both Tears of Romirro and Abyss Walker, but they never really cracked it open for us. What I'm really hoping for is that we finally get the story of who or what the original sea god was and how far their influence actually reached. Because if you actually listen to that creation myth Rafayel shares, his scales becoming stars, his bones transforming into whales that carry the sun, moon clams measuring time, coral bridges to the netherworld, it feels way...
Yeah, the coral bridges to the Neverworld. I was like, is this a Caleb Third Myth reference? Because if it is, that means that they're planning for all the myths to connect somehow, some way. Because right now we have no character interactions whatsoever at all. But are they planning for something like that? I don't know, maybe. Hopefully.
Bigger than just the ocean. The sea god's body literally becomes the fabric of the world. Sky, time, life, even the realm of the dead. It almost feels like the sea god isn't just a god of the sea. Well, we'll find out what he actually is eventually. There's really no true evil in this myth. At least that's what I think. Hawkern, the side villain, did all that because he just wanted his home back. He got screwed over by two people who couldn't fulfill the roles fate forced on them. MC and Rafayel honestly never even asked to be in the positions that they're in. It's a fucking mess. Everyone suffers, and it's just...
See, Hawker was like, how dare you go against the rules? And you know what I said when I was reading the myth? I said, fuck you, I didn't follow the rules, so what? What are you gonna do about it?
Pain.
MC didn't follow the rules. Now you're mad and dead. Sucks to be you.
But I enjoyed it though, and I know you enjoyed it too. Don't even try to deny it. I know you live for the Yanks, you sick fucks.
What?
We are the same. But in all seriousness, Infold really stepped up their quality with this third myth, and I just hope they keep this energy going for all the future myths. And that brings us to the end of this video. Everyone's lore is getting even more jumpy than before. Honestly, it's frying my brain a little bit, in a good way of course. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you want, and consider subscribing if you enjoy my content. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Also, check out my my thumbnail. You guys like this thumbnail? When I was playing the myth, I was thinking about this thumbnail.